Former pros and one average Joe. You're listening to The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
I can't say enough good things about J.J. Weatherholt. He's a superstar. I just saw him again on Saturday at the Futures game. He's going to hit. He's absolutely going to hit. He's going to come up. I mean, he should come up this year. He's going to be ready. He'll figure out where to play. I'm not even worried about it. You got to move him to second base, fine. I don't care. He needs to be in the batter's box.
Let's get nasty on a Thursday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 201, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Bradford Bruns in for Andrew Marsh again for the next couple of days. So that was Keith Law, your buddy.
Yeah, my boy.
Jamie, your boy. Keith Law talking about J.J. Weatherholt. And you heard him. Just, hey, bring him up. He needs to be in the batter's box.
Pretty fast and loose for Keith, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no kidding. Likes a Cardinal. How about that? No, Keith's fine.
Fast lane fine?
Yeah, he's totally fast lane.
What?
Fine.
Yeah. Why is he not just fine, like regular fine? Hey, what do you got against that guy?
There's reasons, Carey.
Okay.
Jamie said issues. Anyways, so that's Keith Law. With Keith Law.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Not just in general.
Not just in general.
I mean, yes.
Yes,
but...
I should clarify.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Keith Law was on with PK and Ferrari earlier today. So tomorrow night the Cardinals kick off their second half of the season, but some fans are still paying attention to or excited about what J.J. Weatherholt is doing. He's their top prospect. He's on the heels now of an impressive Futures game performance. He looks to stay hot in Memphis as they visit Toledo. Through his first 3 games with the Redbirds, J.J. Weatherholt is slashing .364, .417, .909.
Not bad.
He also told the Gas House Gang about his willingness to play anywhere on the diamond.
I'm most comfortable, obviously, at the middle. It's just where I've played the majority of my career, so short and second. But, you know, I genuinely don't really care where I play. I just want to play. So I've played some outfield in my past. Haven't done a ton of work there lately, but that's something that I wouldn't be opposed to at all. So, I mean, really, you're probably not going to see me at first or catcher, obviously. But anywhere else, I think it's fair game. And at the end of the day, I just want to compete and try to help teams win. So I'll go wherever.
Is this guy really a Cardinal? Because if you can't play first or catcher, then what are you doing?
Yeah, but Carey, he says he'll play anywhere else. Like,
yeah, but you got to be able
to.
I mean, you got to have 5 gloves in this organization. That's what I was told.
I mean, in fairness, Gary, if you play catcher, you should also play outfields or another spot.
True. DH, outfield, first base.
If you're anybody else,
middle infielder, then you should just play outfield.
You could play anywhere.
Okay, all right. I was getting confused.
Yeah, it all depends where you start.
Right.
Gotcha.
John Denton of MLB.com will join us in about 10 minutes, but he says...
We'll ask him.
Yeah, we'll ask him what?
Yeah, what Carey said.
Okay.
All right.
He says John Denton writes, a late season promotion greatly benefited Mason Wynn in 2023. A similar elevation for the sweet swinging Weatherholt could be coming. The club needs to know if he could play shortstop and second or just the latter while also proving himself against big league pitching. Do you guys anticipate that we will see J.J. Weatherholt as part of the September call-ups?
I hope so. I mean, you got to get this kid going, man. He seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's obviously a very well-spoken young man, and wherever he's gone so far, he's produced. Mm-hmm. So whether it's a cup of coffee or whatever it is, just to get him up here, get him some big league practices, some at-bats, batting cages, talk to the coaches, all that stuff, that can be beneficial. And you never know. Sometimes when you call up a kid, they're ready. You may not think they are, but then their play tells you they're ready. So I don't know. And I guess my vision for the Cardinals at trade deadline and down the stretch is still the same as what it should have been from the start, which is to stay the course, get the young guys going, let them play more, so that a year or 2 or 3 down the road, you know exactly what you have here in St. Louis.
What do you think, Carey?
Yeah, I think if you're doing September call-ups, why not? Give him a chance. Give him a let's see what he is, see who he is, see if he's capable of hitting big league pitching. And, I mean, he's done everything right thus far. You drafted him number 7 overall with the expectation that at some point he would be here. I think it's moving faster than even they may have expected it to. So, yeah, give him a chance, and I think you start to shift and turn over this roster, and it becomes younger. And then you move some people around, and you have your middle infield for the next 5 to 7 years, maybe 10.
If somebody's tearing the cover off of the ball to that degree, you make room. I don't care how you have to allocate the at-bats, how you have to repurpose them. The only thing that I would worry about, guys, and maybe this is a bigger picture question moving forward, do you have a number of different individuals now on this roster, possible building blocks moving forward into the future? Certainly lump a Herrera into that category, who could fall under that distinction, under that umbrella of maybe being, all right, jacks of all trades, but perhaps masters of none. I'm not worried about the position at this point. That's nice. It's great. You want that willingness. You want to hear that eager ability to play everywhere, but you could be running into that difficulty moving down the road. And that's ironic, considering this organization, we've basically had fun with it, right? For years on end now, all of the versatility. Well, you also need to be entrenched at different positions. So long term, that's just one thing that I could see happening.
Yeah, I think Bradford brings up kind of an interesting thing there. If you're the Cardinals, there are three things that have to really be in place. One, what does the performance look like at the, let's call it, age appropriate level, right? Like, he's already in AAA now. So to me, he's already an advanced hitter because he's at the AAA level. I mean, he breezed through AA. So if JJ Weatherholt continues to dominate at that level, and I won't bog you down with like the statistics, but he's got a high on base, a good slug. What's his strikeout rate? What's his walk rate? What's the batted ball profile look like? OPS, WRC plus. The statistics look good at the AAA level. Then I think you gotta look at what's his plate approach. That's big. I think that's something that we overlook, and that might be something that was overlooked, quite frankly, with Jordan Walker. Like, he's put the ball in play, he's going to be fine. Mm-hmm. What's his plate approach? Because big league pitchers are going to scout the hell out of you and then figure out ways, where are your weaknesses? So what's the plate approach look like? The other thing that we have to figure out is defensively, what do you look like? This is where I think the organizational readiness comes in. What's the roster? What are the open spots? Where do you play? Do we have you play an outfield when you're not an outfielder? When you haven't really taken a lot of reps in the outfield? These are all mistakes I think that the Cardinals, in hindsight, I'm saying in hindsight, okay? In hindsight. These are all mistakes I think the Cardinals made with Jordan Walker. Mm. I don't want to see them repeat it with J.J. Weatherholt, even though he looks different right now in terms of his readiness and all that. Well,
with Jordan Walker, we talked about the move late to the outfield. Like, he came up as a third baseman. You moved him late to the outfield. He struggled in his first few years trying to figure out how to track balls, and play the outfield, the corner position correct. It took him a while. He got better this year. He's much better this year than he's been over the last couple of years. And I like what Bradford said about jack of all trades and master of none. I think the Cardinals, the philosophy or the notion that, you can play everywhere, that sounds good in theory, right? But the best players generally play one position because they're damn good at it. We laugh and joke about Mookie Betts being a utility player, but he's pretty damn good no matter where you put him at. Brendan Donovan is not as good in left field as he is at second base. That doesn't mean he's not serviceable, but he's not as good as he is at second base. Mookie Betts is good at second, short, right field, out. Wherever you put him at, he can be a Gold Glover at every one of those positions. I don't think Brendan Donovan can.
No, you're right.
And so I think the notion that, we got to have guys that have flexibility. How about you have guys that play their position and play it at a high level? Mm-hmm. And they do that pretty damn well. And you don't move them around, and you let them get good and become great and become all-stars and become Gold Glovers at that position. Nolan Arenado doesn't get moved from third base to second to short to first. Like, he's a third damn baseman. You leave him there, and he's been a Gold Glover his entire career. So I agree with Bradford about the jack of all trades comment, because at some point, let them play what they're supposed to play. You're not going to move Mason Wynn around in the infield. You're not going to mess around with that. He's a shortstop. Leave him there. If JJ is a second baseman, boom, leave him there. Mm-hmm. And if Brendan Donovan plays left field every single day, he's probably going to be good at it. Is he going to be a Gold Glove caliber player? I don't think so. But he's going to be serviceable, and he's going to be good enough to get you through 9 innings of a game and get you to the next day. So finding guys and letting them play their position and have success, to me, is the most important, is the best way to go about it.
Jamie, you were going to say something earlier a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, a couple things. One, we get text messages on here that are let's get him up here. And he gets the other ones, don't mess him up. Don't call him up too soon. He should be here already. Like, there's such a polar difference of opinion. And here's what I'll say, is by bringing him up and just giving him a little sample size, just see what it looks like. That shouldn't ruin a player.
Yeah.
Even if he comes up and goes, go for 5-10 games that he's here. Who cares? Who cares? That kid's going to be so happy to be putting on a big league uniform, walking out into Busch Stadium. You're not going to damage the kid. If you do, he never had it to begin with, quite honestly. Most of these kids are drafted high like that are top prospects. They've got an ego to them, a swagger, people call it. And that swagger carries them through some bad moments. Well, just look at what happened with Jordan Walker. Jordan Walker came up and played fine. He was fine. And then whatever happened, Jordan Walker became his own worst enemy, or the team failed him, or he failed the team. Whatever it is, he's still only 22 years old, I believe, maybe 23 at this point. He's got a long time to go. So he's still figuring crap out too. So bringing him up doesn't ruin them. It's how you react once they have failure that ruins them. If you basically get in their ear and you're telling them how terrible they are, well, that's going to have a negative effect. Like, I remember being sent to the minors after, a couple games here, a couple games here, a couple games here, and Jimmy Roberts was always great about it. Come back down there, he says, hey, man, you're the best player on the ice. We need you again. Get the heck out of here. Got to get you back to the NHL.
Yeah.
Like, it was great. So, although I wasn't happy to be sent to the minors, you can still build from that. So that's what I look at. And when, CD, as far as what you're saying of just play the one position, I agree. The problem is the Cardinals have built this. They have players. It started with the Tommy Edman thing, then Brendan Donovan, and now it's Thomas Sajaci, J.J. Weatherholt. Like, they've got guys who play all over the place now.
Yeah.
So they've almost gotten so deep with this, we'll call it utility player, that they can't dig themselves out without trading a couple of them.
I think that's good for a guy that is coming off of the bench, like a guy that is not a starter, a guy that
I agree.
is you need a day off as a third baseman. All right, Thomas Sajaci, you're third base today. Donnie, you need a day off. All right, Thomas Sajaci, you're second base today. I don't think it's good for your starters to be playing multiple positions around the field. That's just my personal opinion. I think
I agree, but
you're better when you are locked into one spot every single day.
But then they've got to trade a piece, right? Like, they've got to trade a solid piece, a foundational piece. So if it's Lars Nootbaar, they have to move on from, because Brendan Donovan now needs to be a left fielder because J.J. Weatherholt's going to play second base. You have to move on from either Donovan or Nootbaar to make room for J.J. Weatherholt.
Agreed.
And if Thomas Sajaci's going to get reps, somebody else has to go as well. Or Sajaci, maybe he's the guy off the bench, like you're talking about. Once every other day, he gets to play second, shortstop, third, wherever you need him.
Right.
But the Cardinals are going to have to make a move in order to create space following, the model that you're talking about.
All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We're going to get to John Denton of MLB.com. He, of course, covers the Cardinals for the Cardinals official website. So John Denton will join us next. We'll talk to him about Weatherholt. We'll also pick his brain about what John Mozeliak could do at the end of the month ahead of the MLB trade deadline. Again, John Denton next in the Fast Lane.
You can now watch 101 ESPN live on our Air Alliance Team Studio Cams. Catch every show live on our YouTube channel or at 101ESPN.com. 101 ESPN Studio Cams.
Presented by the Air Alliance Team Heating and Cooling. Getting the job done quickly, correctly, 100% of the time.
This is the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Let's head to our Collier and Thompson phone line where John Denton of MLB.com joins us right now. He does a great job covering the Cardinals. John, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying a little bit of downtime. So we just got a chance to talk about J.J. Weatherholt, and I know that you recently, in one of your second half previews, talked about J.J. Weatherholt, and you mentioned a late season promotion could benefit J.J. Weatherholt like Mason Wynn. How realistic is it that we see J.J. Weatherholt this season?
I think it's very realistic. If you look back at 2023, awful season for the Cardinals. Mason Wynn came up and played about 20 games there, and he credited how he did in 24 by getting those games in 23 that kind of broke the ice. It taught him what he didn't know. You think you know everything, and you realize you don't know anything, and to come up, that helped springboard him for 24. And, if this team does happen to sell, if they happen to, get rid of guys and not playing for a lot down the stretch, I think J.J. Weatherholt totally could come up and join this team at the end of the season.
John, following on the heels of that, J.J. Weatherholt was on the Gas House Gang talking about how he'll play anywhere. Doesn't have to be second or shortstop. He prefers that, but he'll play anywhere. But I guess my question more is, where do you see him fitting in? Because currently, you got a pretty good guy in Brendan Donovan at second base, and you say, well, shift him to left field. Well, Lars Nootbaar's out in left field. So, if one's got to go to make room for J.J. Weatherholt, how do you think that works out?
If you look at his numbers in the minor leagues so far, I think he has 6 errors, 5 or 6 errors at shortstop, none at second base. He's a smaller guy. I think he's more suited for second base than he is shortstop. Now, that could create some problems. But, as a coach once told me, if you hit, they'll find a spot for you, So if he hits, he's going to play. Ideally, he's a better second baseman than he is shortstop. But, he's in this position because the kid absolutely rakes. I mean, he led the nation in hitting his freshman year in 24. He's done everything at every level. He's hit the ball. So if he hits, they'll find a spot for him, no doubt about that.
John, we've talked a lot about the pitchers that may or possibly be dealt at the deadline, but what about the position players? It feels like it's a crowded room right now. You got Herrera, who's only DHing, maybe not catching. You got Brendan Donovan. You got Newt. You got Burleson, maybe Jordan Walker, maybe J.J. Weatherholt, and Gorman. How do they sort through all of these position players that seem to be good enough to play, but don't seem like there's enough spots for them?
Yeah, Carey, that's been a problem all season. And, I give Ollie Marmol a lot of credit. Like, he came into the season with a very tough proposition. They've told him, you've got to develop, you've got to get Jordan Walker 500 bats, you got to get Nolan Gorman 500 bats, and, oh, by the way, we want you to win also. That's a pretty tough proposition coming into the season. But they've done a good job of balancing that, finding, playing the hot hand and riding guys. But, you do wonder if there's going to be some relief there at the trade deadline. Has this franchise seen enough of Jordan Walker? Have they seen enough of Lars Nootbaar that maybe they move off of those guys? I know both of them are popular in St. Louis, and we all think that they have high ceilings. But, at some point, enough's enough, and they maybe make a decision to move on. So if there's a team out there that covets those two guys, I wouldn't be shocked if a deal was made.
John Denton of MLB.com joining us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Let's stick with the trade deadline, John. One of my concerns is that Mo, who has not really been active at the trade deadline over his tenure, save for the big moves in 2011 and maybe the John Lackey trade in 2014 or 15, whatever it was. I'm afraid that he's just going to play this one safe, and we're going to get beyond the deadline, and he's just going to say, well, didn't really like what was being offered coming back to the Cardinals. Do you get a sense that Mo could just sit with the current team and not prepare for the future by trading off at least the 3 relievers?
Yeah, and in my history, GMs kind of look up maybe 4 or 5 days before the deadline. They say, oh, man, I got to get something for these guys. And I think, there are teams out there that need closers. There are teams every team in the league needs another setup man.
Right.
Bill Mayton has been one of the best setup men in the league this year. Steven Matz, who didn't have a lot of trade value last offseason, has a ton of trade value now because he can spot start. He can come in and pitch 3 innings. He can come in and face lefties and pitch 1 inning. Steven Matz has really improved his trade value, whereas Eric Fetty has no trade value right now because of how he's pitched. Steven Matz is actually at his trade value. So I actually think those are the 3 most tradable commodities. Those are the commodities that you're going to get something for. And, you know, if you could put Helsley together with, who knows, Arenado. Philly is desperate to try to win a title. They've been the favorite to win for the last 2 or 3 years. They might be a team that needs to get over the hump. They definitely need bullpen help. And, you know, if you can take these guys and you can flip them into 2 or 3 prospects, I think John Mozeliak would definitely jump all over something like that.
John, the question I have is, will the Cardinals stay the course as to what they said, you know, prior to the season, or has this success, relative success, has that blinded them a little? Like, will John Mozeliak now at the deadline make moves that help the Cardinals limp into the playoffs, or at least try to, or will he stay to the plan, which was to develop and get the young guys some runway?
Yeah, I think it could be one of those where you sit on the fence. You know, I don't think they're going to – they may not be buyers or they may not be sellers, but they may not be buyers also. Like, I think they could not sell but sit with what they got and say we're good. You know, they're not going to dramatically up this payroll. They're just not going to add a huge contract at this point. You know, maybe if they fall out of it, there's a big series. They play 3 in Arizona, 3 in Colorado, and when they come back, that 4-game series against the Padres is going to be a big series. If they lose 3 out of 4, if they get swept by Mike Schultz Padres, that could cause them to blow up the team. If they take 3 out of 4 or sweep the Padres, that could put them right behind. You know, that series could have a big impact on the long-term future of this roster.
John, Nolan Arenado has been dealing with some injuries, but it seems like there are some spots that are potentially open, maybe New York, L.A. Do you think Nolan Arenado's trade market is back open, or is it still kind of closed as it was toward the end of the offseason?
You know, I think that's one of the things that's going under the radar. I think the Cardinals are definitely going to explore. They're going to go to Nolan and say, do you have an updated list? Do you still want to go to these teams? Do you not want to go to these teams? I think they will explore that again. I think they'll ask Sonny Gray and Wilson Contreras, do you still want to be here? You know, they both said they wanted to be here at the beginning of the year, but now that you've been through 90 games of this, do you still want to be here? And I think Arenado has a trade value. We all know Max Muncy's still out with the Dodgers. The Yankees have had a revolving door at third base all season. I could see them making a move. John Mozeliak and Brian Cashman are longtime friends. That trade could happen. It maybe almost happened in the offseason. You know, there was some money that with Marcus Stroman's deal that the Yankees couldn't get rid of that kind of killed that. But I could totally see that being an option again because, I mean, right now the Yankees know they're not good enough. They may not even win the division after the way Toronto has kicked it into gear. So I would not be shocked to see the Yankees make a bunch of moves and maybe go get Arenado to put him at third base.
A couple more things for John Denton of MLB.com here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. John, what was your biggest takeaway following the Cardinals' selections in this past amateur draft?
Swing and miss. You know, we've all seen it for years. I mean, they've had these pitch-to-contact guys, and, you know, they could get away with that back when the shift was involved. And, you know, it's frustrating to see an Andre Palante, and, you know, one game he keeps the ball on the ground, but it goes right at a defender. But the next time when it doesn't go at a defender, you know, he gets knocked around. So this organization is going after swing and miss. Randy Flores said the other day, he said, we're going bigger. We're trying to aim bigger. So you go, you know, you get a 102 mile an hour from the third round pick. You get Liam Doyle, who led the nation in strikeout per 9. A lot of those arms, the second day, they picked 10 pitchers, and most of them were high swing and miss guys. So it's a little bit of an organizational shift. Instead of getting pitchers who pitch to contact, they're going for the swing and miss now. And, you know, that's a big deal in today's game. You got to have swing and miss.
John, you mentioned Eric Fetty potentially having really no trade value. Miles Michaelis had a good start last time, but has struggled throughout the season. Do you see any potential of those guys being just moved on from if the Cardinals are unable to trade them and you know, the season goes south, as you said earlier, that they just move on from those guys so they can get some younger pitchers in and see what they have?
Yeah, if they're unable to trade those guys, that, you know, I really see the Cardinals kind of breaking ties with those two guys, because we all know Michael McGreevy is an MLB pitcher. He's pitched like it. He deserves it. He's really, played a good soldier all year in AAA, but the guy deserves to be in the big leagues. And, if they're unable to trade those two guys, and Miles Michaelis still has a no-trade clause, I don't think Miles has any desire to go anywhere. But if they're unable to trade those two guys, I wouldn't be shocked if they don't, kind of cut ties with at least one of them to open up a spot for Michael McGreevy after the trade deadline.
John, great stuff. We appreciate the time. Enjoy the second half, and we'll probably have, if you don't mind, we'll have you back on again at some point.
Sounds great, guys. Anytime. Thanks. Take care.
Thanks, John. John Denton of MLB.com covers the Cardinals, does a great job for the official website of the Cardinals. And if you missed some of that, of course, we'll have the podcast up for you a little bit later. But John did mention how much it benefited Mason Wynn when he came up in September a couple of years ago and ran the parallel to J.J. Weatherholt in that spot. He also was kind of, I thought, a little optimistic about the Cardinals being active at the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
He had mentioned not just the three relievers, but Nolan Arenado still having trade value for some teams. He had mentioned the Dodgers and the Yankees. Those are the obvious ones. I don't know. I don't know if the Cardinals are willing to eat the contract. I think maybe both teams will view him as kind of a solid key defensive player for the postseason. But other than that, I don't know what you're going to get. It's almost a commitment to opening up a spot, just like it was in the offseason. But John Denton didn't back down from mentioning some of the position players being swapped out as well. We'll see. All right, we've got a question for you based on the J.J. Weatherholt situation. When do you think that J.J. Weatherholt will come up? What are your thoughts on it? Jamie had mentioned there seemed to be a poll on the text line about whether or not the Cardinals will rush him. Why not bring him up? If you want to leave us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop, feel free to do so on the Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers 101 ESPN app. We'll play them throughout the show. So any thoughts that you have on J.J. Weatherholt and when he will come up, should come up, any of that, again, feel free to leave us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop.
Listening to John Denton in that last segment, do you really think the Cardinals are going to do anything? Because I asked him, and he's like, well, it seems like it'd be one of those years where you sit on the fence and whatnot. But, just us here in the studio, apart from the obvious ones, is John Mozeliak going to shock us? Does John Mozeliak have the shock value in him? Like Doug Armstrong does, where you're looking left and he goes right. You're like, well, how did that happen?
He's going to do something.
I've never seen that out of Mo.
I agree.
Anything Mo's ever done has been spoon-fed to him. Goldie, Arenado, pick your other players, or just picking up somebody whose contract is ending who will be a good Cardinal.
Yep.
I've never seen him take a player with team control left and try to parlay that into something bigger.
Yeah. Jamie, you just mentioned my biggest concern, that Mo is not going to do much at the deadline.
Yeah.
He's not going to take advantage of the opportunities they have to set the Cardinals up maybe for the future or roll the dice, make a bigger trade that helps you both now and in the future.
Chaim Bloom has done that. He's had to. He made a terrible trade with Mookie Betts, but he took a player that was a ballsy move. Now, he was forced to. The ownership told him, you got to get rid of this player.
Right.
But I feel like Chaim Bloom, if there is something bigger at the end of this whole trade deadline, I feel like Chaim Bloom will have had an impact on it. Is it weird?
Yeah. I mean, he should. Really, he should be the one running the trade deadline. So I don't. It doesn't make any sense to me. But it's going to be Mo's trade deadline for all intents and purposes. And to your question, Jamie, no, I'm petrified they don't do anything.
Yeah.
Because Mo really hasn't shaken things up at the deadline in
it's just so conservative
a decade.
all the time. It's just
my biggest gripe with it. So I'm with you on that. The Florida Panthers have verified by NHL schedule release that they're pretty popular. They're in demand. Can the Blues reach that at some point? That's next on 101 ESPN.
We're open for business.
101 ESPN is powered by Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's injury lawyers. Call 314-500-5000.
MLB is on ESPN Saturday. Mets and Reds. Pregame at 2:30. First pitch at 3:10. The MLB plays on 101 ESPN. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Baseball's second half gets underway shortly. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns. Your Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Tomorrow, all 30 MLB teams returning to action following Midsummer Classic festivities in Atlanta. Third place St. Louis visits Arizona right away. Memphis, meanwhile, knows it will have J.J. Weatherholt available against Toledo over the weekend. Keith Law joined Alex plus BK earlier, wondering about a possible St. Louis arrival soon. You can catch that interview right now on 101ESPN.com. This Sports Center update was driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet plus Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at Londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Strap yourself in. You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN.
It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. So the Panthers, as we know, they're going to be in demand, and based on the schedule and the fact that they've had so much success, we know that the Florida Panthers are going to be a featured team in the NHL, and they should be.
And why is that?
Because they're really good. And
yeah.
In fact, they're
Says who?
great.
Who says that they're really good?
The Cup rings tell a story.
Stanley Cup, they're toting around.
They got
these
two?
days.
Yeah, 2 in the last 2 years.
Who's counting, Jamie?
Probably them.
Them,
Okay.
mostly.
Right. You're right. I just asked.
The rest of the NHL, mostly.
Yeah, every other team.
All right, so can the Blues reach that same realm? Is that possible?
Like, what's your time
Being
frame?
in demand. Well, what is the time frame?
Yeah. So here's the thing: is even in 2018, 2019, when the Blues won the Cup, they weren't a team that you looked at and were like, "Gotta watch that team play." Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Florida has Matthew Tkachuk. They've got Brad Marchand. He's not producing at the clip that he once produced before, but he's a very well-known name. Sasha Barkov's a 2 or 3 times Selke Trophy winning centerman now. Like, they've got a draw. Bobrovsky's a big name. You look at the Blues lineup, even in 2018, 2019, you're like, okay, Tarasenko, Pietrangelo, O'Reilly, but like if you're in Idaho and you're at the shopping mall in Idaho and you walk down and you say, hey man, did you see that goal by Pietrangelo the other night? You may not have everybody who knows who scored that. Mm-hmm. So, hey, did you see that Matthew Tkachuk thing at Four Nations? Yeah, that was unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Him and his brother, they're crazy. I'd never watched hockey before, but I went back and watched that. Like, they're stars. So to reach the level of the Panthers where they currently sit as far as like from a eyeballs draw, I don't know if you get there. But can you reach their success as far as on-ice product? I think you're a good portion of the way there. You have good culture right now. You've got a team that's built, I would say, built for playoff hockey. And I think you just got even more built for playoff hockey with the addition of Logan Mailloux on the back end there. He's a big, scrappy defenseman. He's going to help you out a lot as well. Bugstad's 6'6". Like, you're adding big playoff-style players. But as far as, like, being a draw where people are circling their calendar for when the Blues are on TNT playing their team or whatever, I don't know if... They're certainly a couple of years away from that.
Jamie, to me, part of the reason that honestly made Florida's second run to the Cup so special was that you had the strength collectively. Right now, Sam Bennett, don't get us wrong here, had an historic run. We understand that. Kachuk, due to a lot of different reasons, injury-related certainly, didn't have the same level of production. So to some extent, really, that team winning collectively, you don't have the sheer star power that maybe you do on other squads, but obviously the overall effect, the overall ability to win championships is there. So for a team like the Blues, on the upswing, a lot of individual, albeit raw talent there in the system and at the parent club. When you're thinking about that guy who can make the biggest impression, I guess, on the average fan out there, the average fan talking pucks over in Idaho, Iowa, wherever, in the Midwest, are you more inclined to go with perhaps more of that pure playmaker along the lines of a Thomas, maybe Dvorsky in the years to come, maybe a Dylan Holloway, or somebody with the potential to snipe, i.e. a Jimmy Snuggerud? Who's the most likely candidate?
Yeah, it's tough for me to bring in Jimmy Snuggerud into this conversation because he's played 7 games.
Yeah.
7 or 8. Now, he's been very good, but it's still 7 games. And Dylan Holloway, I'm very excited to see what he does this upcoming season, because if last year was his so-called breakout year or just kind of getting his feet wet year, I can only imagine what another season will look like when he's even better and he's playing a more consistent game. And he's had a full season of playing alongside Jordan Kyrou and Braden Shen or whoever they decide are his line mates. I think it'd be silly not to run that back, but that's just my opinion. So I'm excited to see that. But Robert Thomas, to me, has to be the guy. I really do believe that. I think that when you look at two-way players, he's certainly, in my opinion, he's in the top 20, top 15 in the NHL. He's going to have a really good chance to make the Canadian Olympic team, which will add notoriety to him there automatically. So if he's not a household name anywhere in Canada right now, he will be.
It's huge.
Everyone in Canada will know who Robert Thomas is by the end of the Olympics. And that right there, that grows your stock. If you're a stock and someone's purchasing it, hey, whoa, this stock really blew up. Well, that's because he made the Canadian Olympic team. So, but I do think he has to make that team. So for me, it's be Robert Thomas.
I was going to say the same thing. Robert Thomas and Jordan Bennington in the Olympics is probably
Colton
Parayko brings your, now you're talking about those specific players. Well, who do they play for? They play for the Blues. Oh, crap, we got to watch those guys during the regular season as well. So that can start to bring some of that attention, not to the level of the Florida Panthers, because you also got to win a championship. You got to win the Stanley Cup.
Sure, it helps.
2 or 3 times would be nice for other teams and other fans to really take notice. But I do think the Olympics, just like the Four Nations, brought Jordan Bennington, eyeballs to Jordan Bennington in the way that they did. So I think the Olympics and outside of just the NHL, when you're having success on that level, more people will start paying attention.
Yeah, and that's one thing, too, that you bring up a great point, Carey, because I remember traveling with the team following the Four Nations, and everywhere we went, people were talking about Bennington, Jordan Bennington, the lore of Jordan Bennington. And then other players are talking about Colton Parayko. I've never seen a big guy move like that before. Oh, my God. Did you see the way he beat the pants off of JT Miller? People who didn't even know these guys before were now talking about them. So for the Blues, it'll depend on the number of players that they have go to the Olympics, too. If you've got a player or two on the U.S. squad, a player or two in the Swedish squad, Canadian squad. It is going to be the most watched thing at the Winter Olympics. It just is, because of the famous people that are playing in it. That also brings more attention to your team. To your point, Carey, hey, I watch.
One more on Thomas. We know about his prowess, obviously, down the middle, being able to assume responsibility, playing that 200-foot game. Has he, in some ways to you, Jamie, just scratched the surface, though, as far as being a goal scorer? I know it's not in his nature per se, but as far as adding that punch, being the guy you would expect to be able to facilitate as well as being able to put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, I think if nothing else, the play has slowed down for him a little bit, where he's making plays now that he wasn't making a couple of years ago, just simply because he's figured out the timing of the NHL. And he continues to get better as well. For Robert Thomas, for me, yeah, he's just scratched the surface, but the moment you can get a bona fide scorer with him. So whether it's a Jimmy Snuggerud, whether it's player X, Y, Z, if it's Dylan Holloway at some point, you need that for Robert Thomas. The reason being is he's such a great playmaker, and then he'll be able to feed this player, but then when all the attention goes to the sniper, Robert Thomas has a hell of a wrist shot too. He can score goals. So there'll be, by having a goal scorer on his line will give him more opportunities to score goals, if that makes sense. It's kind of like when you're in the batting order, he's setting up one guy ahead of another guy because the one guy's going to see better pitches type thing. That's the way I would compare. So I think Robert Thomas is a 100-point player. Will he get there next year? I don't know, but I do think he's a 100-point player.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. This is Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Bradford Brunson for Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Carey has hopped on board the quarterback train on Netflix. He's got through 1.5 episodes. I want to ask you guys something, though, in relation to the quarterback series and watching Jared Goff and the Lions play. And Jamie, I don't know if you're gonna like the question.
No, I don't like it already. The way you just did it, I don't like it.
On 101 ESPN.
We want to hear from you. Use the Scott Lee Mic Drop feature on the 101 mobile app. Give us your opinion on anything St. Louis sports with a mic drop.
Brought to you by the Scott Lee Heating Company.
slow down. You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN.
So this week we've been watching the quarterback series on Netflix. Now, Carey initially refused, but he got on board. He likes it. He likes it.
I didn't refuse.
Carey, you sat there and you're like, I don't like watching these things. And he's like, yeah, I watched last night and couldn't stop.
It was good.
Good.
Yeah, it was good.
Welcome aboard.
You're welcome in here.
Thank you.
And Carey, you already know about the Lions season, how it started, how it finished. But as you watch kind of the behind the scenes, I'm interested to know your thoughts. But guys, as I continue to watch this series, and Jared Goff had mentioned it a couple of times already in previous episodes about how the Lions were different. The team was different. It had a different feel to a different vibe. We're just different, he said, in after one win than everybody else in the league. There's also segments in which Jared Goff and Ben Johnson are on the same page. There was a moment in a game where he said, I can't remember what the play call was, but he said, give me
Wasp.
Wasp.
He was saying Wasp in his own on the field, and Ben Johnson couldn't hear him. He's like, and he calls in Wasp.
Yeah. So, and then it cuts away, and Jared Goff says it's always great to be on the same page as your play caller. Did they completely miss their opportunity last year? You like to think that everything just keeps ascending, right? But they did. They have to replace two coordinators. They lost two starters along the offensive line.
They're everywhere.
So we know where Jamie's going with this. But man, we just they'll get better. They get better. They get better.
Looking for reasons. Listen, I
got a bad feeling. I got a bad feeling.
I know you're upset with your team, and you live in this miserable Falcons fan base. I get it. Why do you try to do that to other people? Why? Like, you're looking at my team, who is a really good team. Jared Goff, you said so yourself, unbelievable dude, comes across as the greatest guy.
Very likable.
Dan Campbell, all the team,
awesome.
all the culture, everything, great. But why you got to go looking for problems now? Well, we don't have an offensive coordinator. Let's see what happens now.
You know what, Jamie? You're right. Why am I even questioning them?
Yeah, look, it's going to be different. There's no doubt. But the guy, they promoted from within, did they not?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not like they bring in a complete outsider who just perusing the playbook they had before, who just is figuring out what players do in certain situations, who's good, who's bad. And he's going to be able to build an effective playbook with Jared Goff. And we saw Jared Goff had really tight interactions with Ben Johnson and had a lot of say in things. And so will it be the same? Well, probably not. Ben Johnson's probably one of the best in the league at play calling and being an offensive coordinator. But I don't think it's going to take such a left turn, especially when you're promoting from within. I mean, I could be wrong, Carey. I haven't been in those meetings or those huddles or any of that stuff.
I think it does impact not having your OC and DC because, one, it's a different voice. You become accustomed to hearing the same voice and like you just said, being on the same page as a quarterback with the offensive coordinator. No, you almost have the same brain. You know what he's thinking, he knows what you're thinking, and it makes it seamless in terms of being prepared for the next play and what you're going to do and how you're going to run it. So having a new voice, and then that's a different person. It's a different philosophy. They might want to do something different on 3rd and 3, where you've been doing one thing on 3rd and 3. You know, having that expectation.
Well, we know what they're doing on 4th down.
But for 4th and 1, they're going for it. 4th and 25, they might go for it as well. That's a head coach thing. He hasn't changed. But it does impact. I mean, we saw it with the Eagles a couple of years ago. They went to the Super Bowl, and then they lost both of their coordinators, and then that year they stunk. Like, they struggled, and they had to go back and kind of retool and reevaluate and readjust to become what they needed to be on offense. Now. And but the year after they lost their coordinators, they didn't do much of anything. So that will be this year for the Lions. And then next year they'll win the Super Bowl.
I'll take that.
All right, there you go.
I'll take that.
So it does impact you.
Still make the playoffs this year. You just lose in the first round of Tampa.
And you probably lose the last 6 games of the year.
Why are you so
I'm followling Carey's model.
That's what happened.
It's like he's got to go the most miserable way.
They did start 9-0 though, right? 11-0, 11-1.
Yeah, they were rolling.
The Eagles. They lost 1 game in the first 9 or 10 games.
Yeah, you'll be rolling.
And then they'll fall. Then the ceiling, the bottom will fall out.
Yep.
It just dropped.
All right, guys. One, Carey, I appreciate your insight because obviously you know more than either of us.
Correct.
When it comes to that. But two, I don't like your attitude. It sucks. Okay, your attitude sucks.
I apologize.
What are you laughing at?
Me?
Yeah.
What you said was funny.
I hope what happens for you this year, I hope what happens is I hope the Falcons get out 6-7-1 to start the season. And you're like, yeah, baby, we back. Dirty Burton all over the studio.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then they lose the rest of the games and miss the playoffs.
So it's almost like last year.
Now that's actually
That's
if we're being honest.
What you're saying is basically last year. It just repeats itself.
Yeah, but like to make it worse, I want Kirky football to take over week 3 and like win 5 in a row. Where they're like, yeah, we're back.
Yeah.
Do Kirky things.
All right, so outside of taking over in week 3, basically last year, he just dominates faces until he gets hurt.
I want to see Michael Penix have a good year.
As do I, Carey.
I want to see him
As
ball
do I.
out.
But you like Kirk.
I like him as a
He loves
person.
him now.
You're all about him.
I actually, man,
He talked about
watching
getting a
that.
cousin's tattoo.
I might get a Cousins jersey and just wear it in here.
Which one? He's
the
played for
Minnesota
many
Vikings.
teams and has
you
left
know what?
them.
Maybe the Washington Redskin version of
Really?
Kirky. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I think watching the show, watching the first episode and a half, he's a really good guy. He doesn't curse. Like, I would want him as a teammate. Like, I would probably, he's praying for people. He's
I'm gonna ask you a
thinking,
question.
like, he's doing a lot.
In pro sports, not in life, but in pro sports, can you trust a guy that doesn't curse?
So there's the thing. That's the thing. That's why I would trust him. Because you're in a locker room full of heathens.
And I'm like, is he really going to be there for me?
But you're in a locker room full of heathens, like guys all over the place. Like, not bad people, but just, crazy,
What?
loud, cursing, fussing,
Yeah.
ready to fight, laughing, jokesters, like all types, all people
Animals.
from
It's okay.
different walks of life.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
And then you got this guy who's watching us cuss like sailors, and he's just laughing his butt off like, you guys are funny. Oh, my goodness. Wow. That's a new one. Didn't hear that one. Never heard that one before. Wow, I never even thought about that. You're like,
I've been
this
in the
guy
locker room with
is
those guys, and they look at me and they're
this
judging
guy
me
is a
the
saint.
whole time.
But I don't think Kirk judges anybody.
You're a funny guy.
I don't think he's judging them. I think he's just in awe like, man, I love you guys. Right? He
but
just...
can you trust him?
I think so. I think you could trust Kirk with anything.
But he hasn't won anything.
Man, he doesn't have to
Maybe
win.
not a playoff win.
Man, maybe not a football in the fourth quarter. It's okay. But in life, you could trust him.
2 words, Kurt Warner. How did that work out for the STL?
Kurt was a closet cusser. Here's stories I hear about him.
Is that right?
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think so.
I can't go there. I can't.
I don't think so.
How about this guy?
All right, I'm excited.
Well, that guy speaks for himself.
Near and dear to the heart. What can I say?
Although I did play with Bobby Basson and Mike Fisher at different times. Bobby Basson was here when I started my career. Extremely religious guy, didn't cuss, didn't know it. And he would beat your face in with a hammer. He had no problem doing that. Mike Fisher, we know he's a heck of a player and a rugged player, not afraid to mix it up or have your back. So
Troy was that way.
I guess I'm wrong.
Yeah, Troy Polamalu was not he barely spoke. He spoke to us, but he was very quiet, didn't curse. Just just the nice man, one of the nicest people in life, and will try to knock your head off.
Are you like me
in football?
Are you like me when you see somebody who's like so amazing at life? You're like trying to figure out, like,
how did you die?
What are your secrets? Like, where are the bodies? Like, that kind of thing, because nobody can be that perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting when you see someone like they got it all. You're like,
something's wrong.
What are you doing?
Something's wrong.
How did that happen?
Like, I don't know
You're
what this
just
guy
a
does
great
at home.
individual.
I don't know.
What are you fronting for?
Yes.
What are you fronting for?
It's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, somebody.
But then I'm reminded quickly that I'm the problem.
You are, right. It's me. It's not him.
Yeah.
That's actually what you should be striving for and what you're doing. And you're like, oh, yeah.
You know what, guys? I think I just made a decision. That's what I'm going to be striving for.
From here on out?
From here on out, just perfection. Living the perfect life, no cussing, always walking a straight line.
Over under 3 segments. Segment breaks. Well, we could actually say segments because he might slip up and say the wrong word
Carey,
and bleep out the right one.
Your lack of confidence in me hurts more than you know, okay?
I believe in you, Jamie.
Over under before he gets out of here at 4 o'clock. Okay.
Bradford, you believe, right?
Jamie, if you strive for greatness, my man LeBron would very much appreciate that.
Oh, no.
He'll tell you all about it, too.
Round two?
Bradford and Jamie had a spirited debate about LeBron James the other day.
Bradford's been bamboozled. I don't blame Bradford. It's all LeBron's fault.
Yeah. Are the Cardinals actually the linchpin that some MLB execs think they are approaching the trade deadline? So at least one MLB exec says, you know what? The Cardinals could be like the key to the MLB trade deadline. Do we believe that? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Blues hockey is on 101 ESPN.
Get the inside scoop on and off the ice with the Last Minute Blues podcast with Alex Ferrario, Jeremy Rutherford, and Donnie Fandango.
Blues opinion, talk, and speculation. It's what we do.
Watch or listen to the Last Minute Blues podcast on our YouTube channel or at 101ESPN.com.
All right, listen up. I've got a great idea for you. You might think I'm crazy at first until you hear all about it. What about investing in farmland? Or if you have a farm, have somebody run that for you to make more money. Well, listen, Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, they've invested in U.S. farmland. There is a reason. Every year, steady returns, long-term growth, real stability, and we all know how stressful it can be when the stock market, you open that thing up in the morning, you're like, what's going on here? Don't worry about that. When you own farmland, you don't have to worry about the ups and downs of the stock market. For 14 years, my friends over at AgVest have helped leading financial institutions manage over $900 million in farmland deals, and they're licensed in 10 states as well. Also, if you own farmland, we talked about that earlier, AgVest can help maximize its value with full service management from sourcing and diligence to rent and tenant selection. All you have to do is call the founder, my guy, Chris Bronner, over at AgVest. His number, 618-520-7022. Again, that's 618-520-7022. Or you can always visit agvestadvisors.com. Buy land. They're not making it anymore.
WXOS, WXOS HD1 East St. Louis, 101 ESPN is driven by Brown and Krugman Law Firm. This is the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 304. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, guy Bradford Bruns in for Andrew Marsh. So, Carey, I think this really stood out to you in Katie Woo's latest article for The Athletic, in which she discussed the second half storylines for the Cardinals. And at one point during the article, she has a quote from one Major League executive who recently said, the Cardinals can be the linchpin for a lot of teams. They have a lot of players teams are interested in. And that person was referring, of course, to the deadline. Do you guys see the Cardinals as a potential linchpin for the other teams at the deadline, the buyers at the deadline?
I thought that was so interesting because I think the entire time we've talked about the trade deadline, we've just talked about Ryan Helsley, Phil Maton, and Steven Matz. But when you say they have a lot of players that teams are interested in, that doesn't sound like just three guys. That sounds like potentially some position players as well, maybe. And then listening to John Denton talk about it earlier, I'm almost certain he's not just talking about pitching. There are some position players potentially on that list because one of the questions I asked him is how do they get all of these guys in the lineup if Ivan Herrera is going to be your everyday DH? He's not catching. That puts one of the catchers in. You got Alec Burleson. You got Jordan Walker, who potentially could be coming back. You want to see what he is. Nolan Gorman, Brendan Donovan, Lars Newbar, J.J. Weatherholt. Like, that's a lot of people for not enough positions. So what do? You have to move some people or move on from some people in order to get all of those guys an opportunity. I just thought that was so intriguing that this exec says they have a lot of players teams are interested in. They could be a linchpin for a lot of teams. That sounds like it's more than three teams and more than just three players, in my opinion.
I'm trying to think of a scenario in which the Cardinals actually do sell. And they provide like they're the team that everybody's calling on. Hey, we got relievers, we've got a defensive third baseman. Well,
they've got a surplus of outfilders and a surplus of infielders.
They do, and some relievers too, obviously,
maybe, and starting pitching.
Well, they've got some relievers.
He said Sonny Gray, so we're not referring to the. He mentioned Sonny Gray. We're not talking about Michaelis and Eric Fetty.
No, he had a trade, and Sonny Gray has a no trade clause, so. Right. Highly doubtful that he'll be moved.
Yes, he doesn't want to be
Contreras
here.
Also has a no trade clause, so I don't think he's going to want to be moved either.
No.
But the three relievers. But anyways, I'm trying to think of that. If that scenario plays out, in which the Cardinals are very active, they sell, they bring in prospects in trades, and then say, hey, Nolan Gorman, third base is yours. Ivan Herrera, you're the full-time DH. Alec Burleson, you're in the lineup every day. Just regardless, you're not a platoon player anymore. I don't think I'd be mad.
No, I would be excited.
No, they give away the three
relievers. This is what they were supposed to try and do in the offseason.
Exactly. They give away the three relievers. I think that could have the biggest impact on whether or not you earn a wild card spot. But I don't think the other moves really do. Because it's not like Nolan Arenado's hitting right now.
Well,
the defense he's not playing. Defensively elite.
Well,
like you're gonna have a drop off there, right?
Yeah.
But the offense, the numbers haven't been there this season or the last couple of years.
Yeah.
He's been trending down. But the three relievers would hurt, provided, of course, you don't bring up three guys that are ready to go. And
when you say hurt,
what if you
mean
get a couple of relievers in return though that get thrown in that can just kind of patch the boat a little bit,
like young guys?
Yeah, just whatever, any guys. So let's say you make a trade. Let's say it's let's say you get rid of the relievers, but you go get maybe some young pitchers, whatever. But what if you trade like an Alec Burleson? Let's just say they get an offer they can't refuse on the Burleson. I'd say, all right, great. Well, you throw in a reliever here, though, too, because we're losing three guys. Like we're moving on from throw in a reliever, like a major league reliever, not a young guy, not an like someone who he can eat it.
Sure. I do agree with you, though. I don't think Burleson will get dealt, but you're just throwing that out there.
But those are the guys teams are going to call on. That's what they're not calling on Fetty and Michaelis. And
why not? Those guys have had great careers.
Yeah, they have, just not this year. If I'm picking up the phone and calling John Mozeliak or Chaim Bloom or whoever's holding the phone that day. And you're going to ask for what do you want for Burleson, Donovan, Nootbaar, Mason Wynn? Like, you're kicking the tires. Because if the Cardinals are in this transformation, they should be listening on every player. Every player. There should not be an untouchable in your lineup based for the right deal. Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, like, if I'm the Cardinals, I'm answering the phone. Yeah, Alec Burleson, I love him. I don't want to trade him. But what are you thinking? You might get a young arm, a team that needs that first baseman or that outfielder or that left bat in the DH spot, whatever it is. They might have a young pitcher that they don't have room for because they're a contending team and like, we have no relief. Here you go. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And they make the trade.
When you say it would hurt, were you talking about this year or in the future?
No,
I don't think it matters. If you're trading all those people, I don't give a damn if it hurts this year. So what? Man,
I'm not saying it matters. I'm just saying
I don't think it hurts.
If you are worried about like still having an opportunity to make the playoffs,
if you start making
that
all
would
of
be
those,
the one that would dent you.
But if you make all of those trades, you're probably not assuming that you're going to make the playoffs.
Very true.
So Joe Buck on TMA this morning. Mm-hmm. And obviously Joe Buck's been around the Cardinals and Major League Baseball for an eternity. They asked him about the Cardinals and the trade deadline. Here's what Joe Buck had to say.
I personally do not see this team equipped or even close to being equipped to winning long 7-game, best of 7-game series in the postseason if you were to get in and if you were to get past the first couple of rounds. So I think it's if you're doing this change and transformation, be honest with yourself and say we're not good enough. And if you can trade veterans or free agents to be that may close games and you could get somebody for them that could help you in the future, do it. And it's time to go. It's time to rebuild. It's time to be all in on that and not kid yourself or think you're fooling fans by, staying in it. Because, again, what's the goal? Is the goal to win the World Series or is the goal to have a home playoff game? And if it's the latter, then stay in it. Then don't trade. But if the goal is ultimately what it should be, in my opinion, and it's harder now, it is a lot harder now in Major League Baseball to compete with the Dodgers, to compete with the Phillies, the Braves, the Mets, the Yankees, the Red Sox. I am not saying it's not, but I think you have to put your eyes on the future, and then you get into the weirdness of the holdover general manager, the guy making the decisions, and then this general manager in waiting, and there seems to be a conflict of interest there as far as I see it.
So Joe Buck obviously feels the way that I think we all do, is stay the course and do what you said you're going to do. But it is interesting to think about for 1 second, like, what does Mo want his legacy to be? Never mind the World Series, all the other years, Olympia. Right now, in real time, what does he want his legacy to be? Does he want to be the guy that was part of the front office that set the Cardinals up for success a couple of years down the road? And when the Cardinals reached that NLCS or World Series, that he was part of that? Or does he want to go out by getting this team back into the playoffs at all cost? And can he do both?
If it were me and I had the option and you have an exec saying there are a lot of teams that are interested in the Cardinals players, and I know that this team is not equipped to win a championship, because the only thing that makes your legacy that leaves a lasting impression on your legacy is a championship. Nobody's going to say, oh, man, y'all remember when the 2025 Cardinals made it to the first round of the playoffs? Woo, that team was special. Nobody gives a damn about that. If you don't have a chance to win a championship and and your legacy is what you're seeking, you want people to remember your legacy, then you would move on from all of these players that have interest from other teams, and you would get something back in return that builds up the organization in a way that when that team does win a championship and they're all celebrating high and bloom, they say, yeah, but remember Mo was the one that made the trade for that player.
For Mo, too.
Mo was the one that made the trade and brought that guy in. Mo was the one that decided to get rid of all of those expiring contracts and a couple of guys that may or may not have been future stars, but they didn't pan out the way, and they got back this. So when you're talking about the legacy of a person. Like, nobody talks about when they talk about John Gruden winning a championship, they always say, yeah, but that was Tony Dungy's team. Mm-hmm. They don't give John Gruden as much credit for winning that championship because that was Tony Dungy's roster. So if you're Mozeliak, nobody's gonna give a damn if you have a first round exit if you're looking for legacy talk.
That reminds me of Steve Yzerman with the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Tampa Bay Lightning went on to win, 3 cups in 6 years or 5 years, something like that. Steve Yzerman never won a cup with the Lightning. But when the Lightning won their first cup, they offered Steve Yzerman a ring because he was the guy who built that team, made the trades, drafted properly, and that team...
It's a classy move.
Yeah, and he declined it because he's classy like that, too. He said, no, you finished it out. You put the last pieces together, whatever. But... if I'm John Mozeliak, not that the Cardinals ever have to offer him a ring if they win anything of value, but I would want to know, like, hey, I don't need the credit, but I'm watching this team on television, and they're winning because of the moves I made. Like, I left the team in good hands.
Yeah, I think if you have any sort of like professional pride, that is the way I think Mo looks at it. This is my last trade deadline. He's not going to look to make a big splash just so that he goes out with a bang. I think he's the same guy as he's always been, which is what is best for the Cardinals. What is best now for my predecessor, the guy that's going to take over, and what am I leaving him with? So I think that's how Mo will play it.
I hope so.
Yeah. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Yesterday we did this with the SEC. Now we're going to move on to Carey's conference, the Big Ten. Big Ten Media Daze. Got some questions and impacting the conference, and we'll answer them next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN has your chance to meet Adam Wainwright at this year's Big League Bash at the Factory July 27th. Our winner will receive 2 tickets to the Big League Bash, featuring Adam Wainwright in concert, along with appearances from Cardinals players and Fred Bird, a silent auction, and more. All to support Big League Impact. Plus, our winner and guest will receive 2 passes to meet Waino prior to the show. Tickets to the Big League Bash, supported by Community America Credit Union, are on sale now. Find all the details and that chance to win free Big League Bash tickets and meet and greet passes to meet Adam Wainwright right now at 101ESPN.com and on your 101 mobile app. your shot to score a pair of passes to Holiday World and Splash and Safari.
Find that chance to win a pair of free passes to Holiday World and Splash and Safari right now at 101ESPN.com or your 101 mobile app.
And cool off this summer at the water coaster capital of the world. Plan your family trip to Holiday World and Splash and Safari today. The splash and fun begins at holidayworld.com. You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Before we dive into the Big Ten, ESPN sources, Adam Schefter saying that the Steelers and TJ Watt have agreed to a deal.
All right.
TJ Watt has become the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL, in NFL history, for the second time in his illustrious career.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Pittsburgh going to the Super Bowl. Here we go.
Don't you get in on it.
That was Brad.
That was Bradford.
Oh, Bradford.
We're down an octave.
What are you doing?
No. They reached a 3-year, $123 million extension that includes $108 million fully guaranteed at the signing. The $41 million per year average is the highest of any non-quarterback in NFL history.
Well, there you go. Just ruined the team.
Whoa.
You can't pay anybody else now. Look at that's why you're stuck with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback.
I think they want to be stuck with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback.
It's 1 year, fellas. Don't worry about it. 1 year.
And then who's next year's project?
We'll figure that out next year.
Next year, Sam Darnold.
Oh,
he'll have a lot to prove.
He's got so much to prove this year. He's going to do great.
No, according to you guys, he doesn't have to do anything. He's fine.
No, we just don't think he's the most important player for the 2025 season.
It's just not.
I never said that. I don't either.
It's amazing that it's turned into that.
It really is.
I don't think he's on the MVP watch for the 2025 season.
The funny thing is, you said Lamar Jackson, you said Josh Allen. I'm like, guys, I completely agree. It's either Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, clearly. I think that beyond that, the guy that's got a lot to prove is Sam Darnold. And it's turned into, I think Sam Darnold is the greatest quarterback in NFL history.
He's the most important player
in NFL history. There's been no way. Lawrence Taylor.
Nobody more important than Sam
Brady,
Darnold for the 2025
Forget
season.
it. It's Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
In Everbob.
Yeah. Kirky will be a Steeler next year. All right. Big Ten.
Probably.
Bradford.
Carey, I say congratulations, sir. Congratulations on Sin City next week as well. Viva Las Vegas. Carey is going to be there as the Big Ten Media Daze will commence next Tuesday through Thursday. So you're going through the gauntlet of all of those squads over a 3-day period. We all know that the Ohio State University was able to emerge victorious college football playoff winner from this past season. But guys, I'm wondering, who do you guys think is the best equipped to maybe dethrone OSU in 2025? Oregon, Penn State, somebody else?
What do you think, Carey?
Well, I think Oregon is probably going to be the top team. I mean, they were the best team in the Big Ten and then got ran through in that Rose Bowl by Ohio State, which surprised a lot of people. But I think Oregon is going to figure some things out, be back in the mix of things. Penn State, again, another team that has done a great job year after year, but still struggles to get over that hump of beating Ohio State and winning the important games and finding a way to make it to that championship round or at least the Final Four round. Those are the three or four teams that I think are at the top of the list. And then you got, I know people think I'm a homer, but Illinois is on that list. I was listening to Dan Orlowski yesterday talk about the Big Ten potentially having 5 teams in the college football playoffs, which would be Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, Illinois, and Indiana again. And so those are the 5 teams that he believed could potentially be in the college football playoff from the Big Ten. And I wouldn't disagree. I think Indiana surprised a lot of people last year, snuck up on some people. Illinois snuck up on some people. The thing about that is when you do that the year before, now you're on everyone's radar. Illinois won 10 games. It's hard to sneak up 2 years in a row. Illinois won 10 games last year. And it can be done again. I think they can win 10 or 11 this year, but they're not going to surprise anybody. And that's a team, I was looking at the roster today, I think it's 15 returning starters from last year's team back, the quarterback, the entire offensive line. You lost your best receiver in Pat Bryant, who was drafted in the 3rd round to the Broncos, but that team is pretty much the exact same team that they had last year. So they're not going to sneak up on some people, but I think their schedule plays well for them. But Ohio State and Jeremiah Smith is a different dude. And it's frustrating. I'm sure it's frustrating for him, because he probably would have been, as a true freshman, the number 1 receiver off the board last year if he was able to come out. And he's got to come back, and they're going to have another opportunity to win another championship. But that young man is special. He is a different talent. So Ohio State is going to be running through teams again this year. They're going to have to, hopefully somebody can, hopefully the Illini can be the ones to stop them.
I think Illinois is going to have a strong season. I really do. But if we're answering this question, it's got to be, to me, it's got to be Penn State. I mean, Drew Aller's back. And
I'm not an Aller fan.
I know, but he's a veteran QB. He knows the conference very well, and he played well last season. Even in the playoff loss to, who was it last year? Was it Notre Dame that got them?
It was a terrible decision by Drew Aller.
It was.
That he threw that pass, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Well,
why would you do that?
I was watching Kirk play on Sundays.
But you can't do that at that part of the game.
It was a terrible throw. I'm not a big Drew Aller fan either. But look, this team's going to win 11 games this season. That Allen and Singleton combo in the backfield.
Yeah.
Defense is going to be conservative, but it's going to be fine. Penn State's going to win 11 games.
You mentioned the backfield. Here's where I have a question mark. Regardless of how you feel about Drew Aller, last year, Warren was more than just a safety blanket. He was literally the only downfield option you had.
Right.
It's not as if you have an influx of top-flight receivers coming in. Now, I love the defense, too. Knowles actually jumping ship from Columbus to head to Happy Valley. That's nice, but I wonder if you're putting the game basically on the shoulder, on the right arm of Aller this season. To me, he's even more susceptible because he doesn't have Warren.
I think it's a great point, but this is the Big Ten. We're boring AF plays.
Wow.
We've seen Wisconsin do it for years. This Penn State team is the same every single year. It's over and over. Ohio State's the only SEC-like team. Other than that, Penn State's there, and Penn State's probably going to win it's going to be the biggest challenge to Ohio State.
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
You're darn
Let's
right.
do it. Why not?
It has worked before in this conference.
Oregon, in my opinion, is the biggest threat to Ohio State. Oregon's
a Pac-12 school.
No, Anthony, they realigned a few years ago. I'm
just saying, they still play like a Pac-12 school.
Maybe a not-so-bold prediction. Oregon down the stretch gets better quarterback play this season. Book it, mark it down. We're going to move on, though. And speaking of some teams that may be prepared to take a bit of a tumble, yesterday, SEC style, we spotlighted Tennessee, maybe even an LSU. This year, suspect number 1 in the Big Ten has to be Indiana, right? Can Lightning strike twice for Signetti? Rourke no longer the quarterback. Carey, as you said, you're not sneaking up on anybody this time around. Beyond Indiana, who else is really vulnerable?
I think, Indiana definitely is on that list because, again, they were the team that literally surprised everyone. No one expected Indiana to be in that position. As far as a team that it's the Big Ten is pretty top heavy. It's not, we don't have, Michigan wasn't really good last year. Minnesota wasn't, Nebraska wasn't, none of those teams. Wisconsin was okay.
Michigan could be a wild card this year with Bryce Underwood.
Depending on the quarterback, because last year Michigan didn't know that the forward pass existed until someone explained to them that you can actually throw. And they said they didn't know that, Lovelace was the only player that they thought they could throw the forward pass to, so they threw it to him 100 and 200 times. They didn't throw it to anyone else.
Worked for Penn State.
Well, yeah, it did. But I don't think Michigan knew that they could actually implement the forward pass.
Hey, whatever they did worked in Columbus, okay?
It did. That was more Ohio State than Michigan. I told you, I watched that game.
Michigan Wolverine is great.
Carey could have been.
Michigan Wolverine is great.
ILL. Damn it. Yeah.
Anytime you go to that Pittsburgh Steelers song, I think Jamie and I bust into It's Great to Be a Michigan.
I wouldn't know. You could have been.
I know. You stood them up.
They'll be all right.
Anyways,
Just fine.
I don't think Indiana's not going to have the same season, but they brought in Mendoza. Georgia pushed hard for Mendoza. He played at Cal.
True.
Cal has not had a good Cal has never had a good supporting cast. Somehow they produced quarterbacks, but Mendoza was pretty good at Cal, and Georgia wanted him. I think there was another team that pursued him in the transfer portal, and Indiana got him.
Why did Georgia want him? They got a good quarterback, Anthony.
Oh.
Georgia just likes talent. They stockpile talent.
Maybe because their quarterback
Go
ain't that
Dogs.
good.
Oh, stop it. Gunnar Stockton's going to be fine.
Fast lane fine, I agree.
No, he's gonna
What
be
do you say, Bradford? Yep, fast lane fine.
There you go.
Anyways.
That's all he has to be is fast lane fine.
Well, with that talent, you might be right.
Yeah.
Just shut up and snap the damn ball, brother.
All you have to do is be fine at
Catch it
this.
and hand it off.
Just don't give it to the other team.
This is yours.
That's it.
Bold prediction, or maybe not so much. December 6th, Indianapolis Lucas Oil Stadium. Who's taking home that conference crown?
Hey, man. Yeah, I don't want to be a homer, but Illinois.
Oh, I don't want to be a homer, but Illinois.
Let's get some odds on
Listen,
that.
we don't get very many times where I can truthfully say that we have an opportunity to play in the Big Ten championship game, win a Big Ten championship game, play in the college football playoffs. I am going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off. I'm going to ride it, Jamie.
You should, Carey.
Yep, I will. And
Don't
if
always
Illinois
get that opportunity.
don't always get that opportunity. So when the opportunity arises, you
Ride
got to
the hell out of it.
ride the hell out of it. You
Yep.
should. That's
Well
what they
said.
say.
3-team race: Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon.
Anthony, what
Illinois is going to have a good season. Michigan's your wild card.
Okay.
Michigan's my surprise.
Michigan has a freshman quarterback. We'll see what they do.
Freshman quarterback that they paid as much as Kirk Cousins.
They did pay him. They did pay him a lot
his
of money.
entire NFL career.
They did. Yeah.
They shelled out. Sports Six Pack is next. Send in your questions to the Aircraft Service text line at 314-399-9646. Again, part one of the Six Pack is next.
Spread Zone, where sports betting meets reckless optimism, questionable logic, and the occasional stroke of genius. With hosts Anthony Stalter, Tim McKernan, and Scott Rizzuto. Check out the latest from the Spread Zone at 101ESPN.com or the 101 mobile app. The Spread Zone is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Weatherholt wowing the masses. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns. Your Sports Center update is powered by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Earlier today, BK and Ferrario enjoyed a futures-heavy conversation with Keith Law. He championed current top prospect JJ Weatherholt. John Denton also addressed last year's first-round Cardinals selection, fast lane style.
If this team does happen to sell, if they happen to, get rid of guys and not playing for a lot down the stretch, I think J.J. Weatherholt totally could come up and join this team at the end of the season. If this team does happen.
Those interviews are both available now online. Weatherholt's AAA Redbirds open their second half tomorrow against Toledo. Ali Marmel's Cards travel to Arizona. Andre Palante starting there. This Sports Center update was brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Two former pros and one average Joe. You're listening to The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
I have a question.
It's time for The Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. If you got a question for us, now's the time. Send it into the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646 with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Bradford Bruns has question one.
Question number one.
Gentlemen from the 314, can you tell us the NFL team that this coming season is most likely to execute a 180? So from lofty territory, division winner, maybe to the bottom, or vice versa?
Wow. I think that the 49ers, for me, they finished last in the NFC West. I could see them finishing in first in the NFC West. If all things go according to plan, that'd be my pick.
Last to first is going to be, 49ers. Yeah. First
you
to
don't
last.
like my pick?
No, I said 49ers would be the only one that I'm thinking could.
First to last is going to be hard to do.
First to last is going to be hard to do. Looking at this list, the only team that you would even think could potentially be first to last, Anthony, who do you think? I think it's Texans.
First to last? Yeah.
That's the only team, and not that I think that
yeah.
But I don't think any other team would even happen.
No.
Because, of course, we're not talking about injuries.
Right.
It's just not. Like, even in the NFC South, like, the Panthers and the Saints are just so bad that
the Saints are going to be dead last.
Like the Buccaneers, although they finished first, they're not going to drop past second in that division.
Yeah. And I actually think the Panthers could surprise people, but they're not going to. I don't think they're going to win the division.
You don't like Chicago. That would be the only team that I think could.
No chance.
Not that I don't like them.
Green Bay and the Lions are too good.
I just think there's too many. Like, that's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah. And
we tend to be like, oh, wow, they've been, this team improved so much. Forget, like, Chicago. Let's just say there's a lot of turnover, but they stole a lot of headlines.
Right.
And we tend to fall in love with those teams. I think that with so many moving parts, it's going to take a little while. I could see them having a much better second half, the Bears, than the first half. Still miss the playoffs, but have some momentum going into next season. That's how I view the Bears. Other than that, I think Jamie nailed it. If you're looking to, let's just say you're looking to bet on a team, right? To go from last to first, the 49ers. They'll be healthy again, knock on wood, and they'll have one of the easiest schedules in the NFL.
What do you think about Tennessee and Cam Ward? Not much.
I never get a good handle on Tennessee.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're overly talented. I think they're fine. I don't think they're going to be dead last again.
What do you think is dead last? The Colts.
Saints.
No, I'm talking about in the AFC South.
Oh, I could see the Colts falling apart.
I think the Titans are going to stay right there. I do.
All right, so 49ers, I guess, are the shows.
They're the ones that I would say, if you're looking at odds, if there were odds on it, they would have the greatest odds of going from last to first.
And they're playing a fourth place schedule.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're not really a fourth place team.
No, I agree.
Oh, those dirty rascals. That's all you got to do is really
Question
suck
number
1
2.
year and then go for it the next.
There you go.
Good call.
Gentlemen from the Grant Francis fan club, maybe swayed a little bit by all of the J.J. Weatherholt praise of late. What do you think about the Cardinals seriously trading the likes of Mason Wynn for pitching and/or an outfield equivalent? Now we'll shut it down.
Hang on. Again, my phone is on. Like, if you want to offer me, who would be a young pitcher? If you want to offer me Paul Skeens.
The Miz.
Or the Miz for Mason Wynn, I'd think about it.
Yeah, I got my young shortstop. I'm not.
Yeah, but you got Weatherholt.
Who would be great at second base.
He is. But can you imagine if Paul Skeens said, hey, Pittsburgh's like, hey, you know what? Paul Skeens wants to be a Cardinal. But we got to make it right here. We want Mason Wynn. Come on. You can't tell me you're not making
It's Paul Skeens, and yes.
You have one of the best pitchers in the game versus a good young shortstop.
I'll say yes. I'm Paul Skeens.
All right. Deal's done. Thank you.
Now that we're back in reality, no, you're not going to. New bar, sure. Float him out there. Get you something decent. But Mason Wynn's staying right where he's at.
Question number 3.
Seems unanimous. Moving on. Question number 3, guys. What is the dumbest, I'm adding the air quotes here, written or unwritten rule in sports, and why do balks still exist?
Because you can't take your foot off.
You can't fake a guy out, Bradford.
I didn't pose the question. Well, technically, roundabout.
The dumbest written or unwritten rule.
Well, Anthony has his written rule is he hates the touchback
on the fumble.
Yeah,
when the defense hasn't done anything.
But
gotten trucked for 90-something yards.
You knocked the ball out. So you're telling me
you didn't.
You're telling me. Hold on.
I reached out for the goal line and fumbled the ball out of bounds.
Yeah,
through the end zone.
Should have held on to the ball.
You should have held on to it.
Great. You know what? I should have.
Should have been
back
better.
up my offense. 15 yards. No problem.
No. You lost
You
the
want to
ball.
penalize me? 15.
It's your fault.
But you didn't recover it.
It doesn't matter. You threw it away.
You didn't recover it.
Doesn't
We
matter.
can play this game all day long, Jamie. All day long.
So when
You didn't recover it. It's not yours either.
So
But it's in my end zone.
It is in my
I had
end
it
zone.
last.
Did you
gave it away?
Back me up 15.
No, why would it back you 15?
Punish me that
No.
way.
No.
But you don't deserve the
worked
ball.
your butt off to get that ball out.
You don't deserve
and
the ball.
it goes out of the back of the end zone. Now it's mine.
At what point? If I'm at the 40 and I do that, what happens? Ball goes right back.
Who recovered it?
Went out of bounds.
Out of bounds, not out of the end zone.
If you're at the 40 and you drop
Still,
and it rolls through
you
the
didn't
end
recover
zone.
it. You didn't earn anything.
Hold on. You're telling me Don Beebe didn't earn chasing down Leon Lett and knocking that ball out and forcing a touchback so the Bills got the ball back? You're going to tell me that Don Beebe ran all that way, chased that man down, and he earned that.
Do you know my Don Beebe story?
I got a Don
doesn't
Beebe.
matter.
Don Beebe is a fine man. That man is a saint.
Coached receivers at high school.
Yeah, he trained
at my
me.
high school.
He trained me coming out of college.
Did he?
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
He was awesome.
Guess what I played? DB. He didn't like how I was getting my hands on one of his favorite receivers. Got in my face about it. I said, your receiver's tipping off everything he's doing. Didn't like that either. So, no. Take your Don Beebe back. Take your speed camp and shove it.
House of Speed, Don
House of
Beebe.
Speed.
Oh, my God.
Don Beebe is a saint.
Man, it was awesome.
Guess what story he told almost every day? That one. We all saw it, Don.
You know how
we all
important
saw it.
that play was?
It was very important.
Great effort
Absolutely.
by a team, by a man on a team.
How'd they do that
way? They finished dead last. As they did every time they played in that specific game.
It was a great hustle play. It was a great hustle play.
So Leon lets you get the ball back. The offense for the Dallas Cowboys should
At
get the
the
ball
40.
back. No, hell no.
Or 20.
crazy.
Oh, hell
I don't care.
That is
break.
madness.
Not enough. Go to break.
Okay. Part 2 of the Sixer next on 101 ESPN.
It's Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Rangers and Tigers. Pregame at 5. First pitch at 6:10. The MLB plays on 101 ESPN. This is the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
I have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Bradford Bruns, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Our Sports Six-Pack continues here on 101 ESPN. Still time to get your question into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Bradford, go.
Question number 4.
Okay, guys, this one is a bit off the beaten path as we like it from the 314 of the 3 major shows here on 101 ESPN from 7 until 6. Can you tell us, who do you actually think has the voice that least matches the face in your face?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a really good question.
The voice that least
Matches the face.
matches the face. Okay. It's pretty tough to imagine the face.
You know
I
what
know,
they,
yeah,
you know what
we know what
everybody
they-
looks like.
Yeah.
If we had a blind test where you and then had to pick out, like, I think BK's voice is deeper than I would imagine. Like, you hear him talk on the radio. He's got a deep radio voice, not quite like you, Anthony, but it's. And then if you saw him walking on the hall, you're like, I don't know, like he's in good shape, and whatnot, but he doesn't seem like the big burly dude that has a big deep voice.
Maybe T-Bone.
No, T-Bone's exactly.
Whoa. Waterboy just said T-Bone.
I think it's T-Bone.
Well, T-Bone looks like he's 12, and the voice is like a younger voice. He hasn't been tainted yet.
No, he hasn't. He's young.
Like,
Sean also in the Snake Pit. I'm reading these on the Snake Pit. Sean also
Yeah,
said T-Bone
he's
easily.
T-Bone.
I think the listeners would be better at this than we would.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
true.
you're right. I can't picture. I already picture what they
You know
look
what
like
they look
now.
like.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to imagine hearing what they sound like and not knowing what they look like, because I think everyone matches
Yeah.
because we see them pretty much every day.
Yeah.
So that is a good question, though.
Willie says BK. Sean says or, after saying T-Bone easily. Sean says or Tim from the morning show. Getting a lot of BK hands down from Rhythm Maker.
Yeah.
There's a Marshy nomination, Big R and St. Chuck.
I could see Marsh. Yeah. I can see that.
I don't know.
Somebody says not the main shows, but Grant is that person for the 618.
Okay. I can see that too.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gator says Tim doesn't sound like a tiny little dude.
Wow. Gator.
Sean says, I thought T-Bone looked like Grant when I first heard him. Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
There you have it. Yeah, I can't give an answer on that. I really can't. I can't
We've given lots of answers.
unsee somebody.
Yeah. It's hard to give a correct
I'll stand
answer.
by my BK one.
Yeah.
Okay. Deal. Bradford?
Question number 5.
From the 816, guys, did you have a chance to check out Shane Gillis hosting the ESPYs last night? If not, what do you think of his work in general?
I saw clips,
Shane Gillis?
snippets of it. Thought some of it was pretty damn funny. I thought it was funny when he was like, I didn't write this one, just so you know. Like, he was letting the people know, don't get mad at me. But I thought he did a good job.
Okay, first of all, if you've ever seen him live or even some of his YouTube stuff or Netflix, he's hilarious. He is. Like, he's bringing back old comedy. What I mean by that is, for a while, the comedy, you had to stay on the straight path. You couldn't talk about certain things.
Cancel culture.
Cancel culture was getting the best of comedians, and now Shane Gillis and other comedians are pushing the limits a little bit, which I think it's okay. Like, I make fun of myself all the time. I'll find my biggest deficiency and make fun of it. Like, it's okay. It's okay, everybody. Like, we're going to be good here. But I thought it was brilliant and hilarious. And at the same time, I had a cringe a little bit when he said, welcome Bridget so-and-so, four-time WNBA Player of the Year. And
everybody started clapping.
Like, and he goes, yeah, that's not her. That's just my buddy's wife.
I just wanted you all. I knew none of you all watched the WNBA.
It was awesome. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so true.
That's
so bad. I was like,
hilarious.
oh, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, I think some of the stuff is funny. I missed it last night. I didn't see it.
He was a small sliver of himself last night.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he's allowed to be performing without any constraints, he's really funny.
Who's like your favorite comedian?
Bert Kreischer.
Okay.
Bert Kreischer, you have to go watch. He has a YouTube skit. It's called The Machine. And it's a true story about Bert Kreischer. When he was in college, he went over to Russia. And he had this crazy adventure. And it's a true story. Now, you ever seen the movie Van Wilder?
Mm-hmm. That's
that
him.
movie is based on Bert Kreischer.
Right.
So he tells these stories. Like, I think Bert Kreischer is hilarious. Any of his Netflix ones you pull up, like he makes fun of himself, his wife, his kids. Like, it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He's great.
That was made into a movie as well,
Yeah,
if
The
I'm not
Machine.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Netflix too.
Oh yeah.
Dave Chappelle. I think he's a great
He's
storyteller. Like he always brings it back, and you're like, dude, he is pretty good.
Dave Chappelle. If it's not Dave Chappelle for me, it's Bill Burr.
He's a great one too,
Dude. I have never.
He's a real jerk.
I was.
Like, I like him, yeah.
But he's so. I mean, like it's hard to disagree with him.
No,
what he's saying.
I didn't say I didn't like him.
But when there was one night, man, I put on one of his specials, and Kristen came into the room. She's like, I have never heard you laugh that much, that hard. And it was Bill Burr. Like he was killing me.
Yeah. He's got a joke talking about like how his wife is this picture perfect, and he's like somebody that always needs a scaffolding like this, always being worked. When are they going to fix that thing? It's never getting fixed, but it's always being worked on.
She's the Taj Mahal. He's like one of those the buildings that are never done in New York.
Like,
The
why is this
scaffoldings are-
always being fixed? He's like, that's me, and my wife is this perfect image of everything.
That's awesome.
It's hilarious. He's funny.
Chappelle is the gold standard for me because there's a reason as to why Lorne Michaels on SNL as well, after each and every, let's just say, delicate situations that come up, okay? He is the best at blending that biting humor with the commentary and also making it poignant too.
Yeah.
I mean, legitimately great social commentary, regardless of how you come down.
Who's that?
Chappelle.
Oh, Chappelle. Yeah.
Chappelle's
his writing is.
He's very intellectual, like very intelligent, and brings it home in a funny way. It's like you think it's going one way, it's like, bam, no, it's not. Shut up. It's like, okay.
He's another one too for me. He pushes the envelope.
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
Like I go back, I think of comedians when I was a kid growing up and whatnot, watching these things that I probably shouldn't have been watching, but like
Andrew Dice Clay.
Richard Pryor. I'm dating myself. He was hilarious. Eddie Murphy, Delirious and Raw. He was hilarious. Yeah. Who did you
Andrew Dice Clay.
Andrew Dice Clay. Like, but they made comedy out of everything.
Yeah.
Like, we always say rule number one in the fast lane.
Nobody's safe.
Nobody's safe.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right. We got to get to the gauntlet. So let's do that. We unfortunately got a returner.
Yeah.
And you're out. So I guess it's me.
Good luck.
You don't want to take him on. You don't want to see if he chooses you. No, you're out. All right.
I got a thing.
You got a thing.
Hit the road, Jack.
All right. Well, I guess I'm up next.
Good luck. You're going to do great.
Thank you. On 101 ESPN.
WXOS HD1 East St. Louis. 101 ESPN is driven by Auto Centers Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty and 30-day return. Redbird Report, your front row seat to all things Cardinals. From the dugout to the diamond, BK and T-Bone go deep with the latest news, notes, and analysis. Watch the Redbird Report on YouTube or listen online at 101ESPN.com. Strap yourself in. You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN. 4 Warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 405. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Jamie had to head out a little bit earlier today. He's got a family matter to attend to. He'll be off tomorrow. But Carey, me, Bradford Brown's still in, and Jeff is back for round 2. What's up, Jeff?
Not much. How you guys doing?
We're doing great, man. Appreciate you coming back. You got past Carey yesterday. Now, Jamie has already left, and Bradford writes the question, so it's going to be me today. I don't know who you wanted to face, but it's going to be me today.
That's fine with me. I'll take you on.
All right, there you go. Jeff, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, Jeff, Anthony's leaving and headed to the cone of silence. Tell Bradford to spin that wheel.
Bradford, spin that wheel.
All right, Jeff, you know how this goes. You answer the question correctly without the options, you get 2 points. You answer it correctly with the options, you get 1 point. If you answer incorrectly, you get 0. Bradford, what category do we have?
Well, Jeff, for round number 2, if you are to emerge with the win, our friend, you're going to have to take down Tony Hockey.
Woohoo.
Sounds good.
All right, Jeff. We got 4 hockey questions. Again, we'll see how this goes. Anthony has been pretty good in hockey. He did lose his last time he played hockey, though. So we'll see if you can take him down one more time. And Bradford's handing me the questions. Are you ready?
I am.
All right, here we go. Who was the Montreal Canadiens interim head coach in 2021 that took the team to the Stanley Cup final?
Options.
Is it Black?
I'm sorry, Carey.
What?
He's a real person. We swear it.
Dominic Ducharme, Vladimir Tarasenko, or Alex Pietrangelo?
The first one, Dominic.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Moving on from there, Jeff, question number 2. Can you tell us the team that has suffered the most losses in the Stanley Cup final, having gone down 14 times in its franchise history?
I guess go with the options on that one, too.
Okay. Chicago Blackhawks, Montreal Canadiens, or Boston Bruins?
Let's go with the Canadiens. Final answer.
Okay.
Question number 3. Who scored the final goal for the Blues in this past year's playoffs?
Trying to think here. Let me see. I guess go ahead with the options again.
Is it Jordan Kyrou, Matthew Joseph, or Radek Faksa?
Let's go with Faksa. Final answer.
And finally, Jeff, Pavel Buchnevich, Jordan Kyrou, and which other member of the Blues led the team in goals in that postseason? Last postseason.
Let's go with Robert Thomas.
Final?
Final answer.
All right, we'll get Anthony back in here. Jeff, how you feel?
Not too bad.
Not too. Okay, well, let's see how Anthony feels. He's coming back in from the cone of silence. Anthony, how are you feeling?
Good.
You good?
Yeah.
How was the cone of silence?
It was fine. It was very silent.
Just you?
Yeah, it was. She went to the bathroom. I told you guys that. Fill up my water last break, but probably should have handled business.
Yeah, they don't know. We don't get a lot of time to handle business around. You get 3 minutes.
You get like
roughly.
one thing. Yeah, you can do one.
You can get some food.
We'll do one.
You can go to the restroom, or you can do neither. But you better hurry up.
I'm still trying to figure it out, frankly.
Yeah, well, it's even harder for him. I mean,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're running the board.
Well, you can't complain. All right, Anthony, you ready?
Yes.
Your category today is hockey.
Ooh, all right. I got to avenge a loss here.
Yeah, and you have to pack a lunch while you're at it.
All right.
All right. Who was the Montreal Canadiens interim head coach in 2021 that took the team to the Stanley Cup final?
If I hear the names, I should be able to get it. Go ahead.
All right. Dominic Ducharme,
I think that's him.
Vladimir Tarasenko, or Alex Pietrangelo?
I'm thinking the options weren't updated.
I just read the questions.
Yeah,
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I think it'll be. Did Vladdy coach that team?
You know, player coaches are very irregular in this day and age.
I don't think Petro did it. You know what? Give me Ducharme.
Okay.
Final answer.
Number 2. Give us the organization, Anthony, that has suffered the most losses in the Stanley Cup final, having lost 14 times in its history.
That'd have to be a team that's been there a lot. So like the Canadiens, the Bruins, the Red Wings. I'll take the options. I'll narrow this down.
Okay. Chicago Blackhawks, Montreal Canadiens, Boston Bruins.
Well, the Canadiens also won a ton. I don't think it's the Blackhawks. I'll go Bruins. Final answer.
Question number 3. Who scored the final goal for the Blues in this past year's playoffs?
I'm going to narrow this down, too. Options, please.
Is it Jordan Kyrou, Matthew Joseph, or Radek Faksa?
I was hoping for outlier. Let's go Radek Faksa. Final answer. Not that Matthew Joseph isn't, but I don't think it was Joseph. Kyrou seems too obvious. I'll go Faksa.
And last but not least, Stoltz, Pavel Buchnevich, Jordan Kyrou, and which other Blue led the team in goals in the postseason?
Kyrou, Buch, and who?
Who else? You have a shared situation.
What? Can you read those names again?
Sure. Buch, Jordan Kyrou, those are your 2. We need number 3.
Well, I mean, Cam Fowler had this past year's postseason was against the Jets.
Correct.
I feel like Cam Fowler had a fair amount of goals and/or points. Am I forgetting somebody though? I'm just going to take the options to be sure here.
Your options are Cam Fowler, Robert Thomas, Nathan Walker.
Ooh. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to go with my first instinct. I'm going to go with Cam Fowler. Final answer.
Where are we starting, CD?
We can start. Start at the top. That was an interesting question. Who was the Montreal Canadiens interim head coach in 2021 that took the team to the Stanley Cup final? Jeff, you took the options, and without any surprise, you took Dominic Ducharme. Anthony, you also took the options. I don't know why you all took Dominic Ducharme, but you both did.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's because the other 2 weren't coaching.
The other 2 were actually playing?
Maybe.
At that time?
The correct answer.
Shockingly, Dominic Ducharme.
Yeah, all righty. Surprise, surprise.
Yes.
All righty. No one saw
Good
that
job,
one
Jeff.
coming. All right,
thank you.
let's go to question number 3. Who scored the final goal for the Blues in this past year's playoffs? With the options, Jeff, you took Radek Faksa. Anthony, you also took Radek Faksa. The correct answer is
the brand new Dallas Star all over again, Radek Faksa.
we have a 2-2 tie. Let's go to question number 2 on the sheet. Which team has suffered the most losses in the Stanley Cup final, having lost 14 times in their history? Jeff, with the options, you took the Montreal Canadiens. Anthony, you said, well, Montreal, maybe the Canadiens. Give me the options.
They won a lot.
He said they won a lot. Did they lose a lot? You took the Bruins. The correct answer is
Which of the original 6 squads would it be? That's Boston.
Oh. Anthony has a 3-2 lead going into this question. Pavel Buchnevich, Jordan Kyrou, and which other Blue led the team in goals in the playoffs this past season. Anthony, you took the options. You didn't want to, but you did. You said Cam Fowler. You thought about it. You heard it. You didn't like it, but you took it. Jeff did not take the options. And he took Robert Thomas, who we do know was an option. So if it's Robert Thomas, Jeff wins 4-3. If it's Cam Fowler, Anthony wins 4-2. And if it's Nathan Walker, Anthony still wins 3-2.
Yes.
Jeff.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Not today.
The answer was actually Nathan Walker.
Really?
Anthony got you 3-2 today, Jeff.
All right, well, I appreciate it.
Good job,
Thanks,
man.
Jeff. Thanks for playing.
All right, thank you.
Good job. Really, Nathan Walker?
That Aussie went off in the first round.
Can we go back to question 1?
I don't know why we should or would, but yeah.
Who wrote these?
It was a grant.
Grant?
I'm never going to throw a teammate under the bus. You know it. We are a team here. We accept responsibility as a unit. It happened. We move forward.
Wow.
It's on to Friday on the Gauntlet.
There were so many people asking, like, did I mishear something? When I read it at first, I'm like, did I read it wrong? I was so confused.
So he asked for the options too.
Yeah, but when I'm reading, like I got the questions and I looked at it, I'm like, I got confused. I was like, maybe I misread something.
Yeah.
But then I read it again. I'm like, nope, I read it correctly.
You know what? I appreciate you guys stuck with it because you could have easily added some options in there.
Yeah. We didn't add them for him, so yeah, it is what it is.
Listening skills, baby.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll do it for the Gauntlet here. Our NFL training camp tour continues yesterday with the NFC East. We're flipping conferences. We're going to the AFC East next on 101 ESPN.
Start your day with the morning after on 101 ESPN. Get in the know first on everything St. Louis sports with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, and Martin Kilcoy. Listen to TMA weekday mornings from 7 to 11 a.m. on 101 ESPN. The morning after is presented by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Time for our NFL training camp tour. Yesterday, we visited the NFC East. Today, the AFC East. And Bradford Brun's got some questions for us.
It's all about those Bills, the Jets, the Patriots, and the Dolphins on this occasion, guys. So let's get it started by beginning with Buffalo. The offseason mantra there, Orchard Park, let's upgrade that D, and some more. So not only did Buffalo sign Joey Bosa as a free agent, but you add 6 different defenders in the draft, even though TJ Sanders, as is the case for many of the second rounders, he remains unsigned. But what sort of shift, alteration do you expect on that side of the ball to help Josh Allen and company?
That's a big question with them.
It has been for the last few years, like just staying healthy on the defensive side. They brought back Tre'Davious White, who I don't know what he has left in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Milano has dealt with injuries. You mentioned Joey Bosa being there. Ed Oliver is a dude, though. He can get after the quarterback. So I think that's their main issue. Can they stay healthy on the defensive side to help Josh Allen? And then offensively, I don't want to believe that last year was like a one-off for Josh Allen and how well they performed offensively. I still think they need a true number one receiver, even though he won MVP without a true number one receiver. I don't know how much you can rely on Khalil Shakur. What did I call him?
Khalil Shakir.
Shakira. Khalil.
You know what?
Shakir.
I do it all the time. Khalil Shakir.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's a smaller receiver. I don't know how much you can rely on him to be that number one guy. He did a great job last year, but you know, those things usually come to an end at some point.
I look at that offense and the way that Josh Allen runs around and does his thing and spreads the ball around. I think that's fine. The defense is where I say, okay, are these moving pieces going to all come together? Mm-hmm. Like, you're right, Ed Oliver's a dude. Daquan Jones is fine. Greg Rousseau is a former first-round pick, and they bring in Joey Bosa. But, you know, Joey Bosa has always been kind of that guy that has just he hasn't exactly exceeded expectations since the Chargers took him in the draft. Can Matt Milano stay healthy? If Matt Milano stays healthy, then I like that front seven a lot better. But I don't know. I don't have any questions about the offense. None. And they play in a cakewalk division, so they're going to be fine. But do they have enough defensively?
See, I have concerns about the offense. I did last year, obviously.
Last year too, yeah.
But, I mean, we talked about James Cook and his contract situation. He rushed for 1,000 yards, but again, I don't know if he's capable of doing that back-to-back years. I don't know if they're going to rely on him. I don't want Josh Allen to be the lead back and the quarterback. I don't want him to have to take a bunch of hits and be a part of the running game, because I just don't think he's – and I don't want it for Lamar either, but I think you should pass the ball and let your running backs do the running. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's going to have as good a year as he had last year. I would be extremely surprised if he did.
Speaking of running backs, it's going to be an interesting situation in that room as it relates to the New York Jets. Breece Hall, is he going to have a renaissance season this year? Will there be more of Allen actually giving him the rock? That was puzzling. What we do know, though, is that in year number 1 under Aaron Glenn, many changes both sides of the football. Hello, Justin Fields. Armand Membu drafted very highly in the first round to try to protect that blind side. Raw at the position, but seemingly a pillar in the years to come. Jets, year number 1 is the physicality, at the very least, brought back.
What's interesting about the Jets, they have invested in that offensive line through the draft. They now have 3 former first-round picks along that offensive line. A second-round pick in Joe Tipman, their center, and then their other guard was a free agent from Baltimore a couple years ago, John Simpson. But I mean, to me, it's all about the play of the quarterback. It's all about Justin Fields. They've got enough position players. The O-line is starting to be built up, but Fields is, when you're talking about the running back position, I almost thought you were going to throw in Justin Fields, Bradford, into that running back room. Because that's what he's been. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what to expect with a team like the Jets. Outside of based on history, they've always stunk.
Yeah, I think defensively they are they are outstanding. They play defense at a high level. That defensive front does a great job. The secondary does a great job. And so I'm excited about what they have on the defensive side. But it does come down to Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a guy I didn't think the Bears needed to move on from a few years ago. And they did. And I didn't really like what he did with the Steelers. I don't know if it's him, because I watched him play college football. Mm-hmm. I've seen him play at a high level where he's able to pass the ball and have success. And for whatever reason, in Chicago, in Pittsburgh, it feels like he's been limited. So I don't know if it's him or if it's the offenses that he's been in. I want to see him have an opportunity to throw the ball. I want to see Garrett Wilson make some big plays for him. I want to see those guys in the passing game do an outstanding job. They passed on a tight end and took a tackle in the first round. They did go get a tight end in that second round with Mason Taylor. So I'm excited to see Justin Fields, if he actually has it, or if I've just been waiting on something that's not actually there at all.
My biggest question, too, is, like, who's the architect here? Because they hired Tanner Strand from Detroit. He was the Lions passing game coordinator a year ago. He was the tight ends coach and the passing game coordinator 3 years ago in Detroit. He's spent a lot of time in Detroit. He's been there since 2020. Mm-hmm. So is it going to be elements of, like, Ben Johnson's offense? If so, you're going to have to throw.
Yeah.
There's a lot of motion. There's a lot of, play action in that. It's not set up for Justin Fields to run around.
And it might be beneficial for him. I think he's capable of doing it. He just hasn't done it. And again, maybe I'm seeing something that's not actually there. Maybe he's not capable, and that's why he's not doing it.
Yeah.
But I want to see him in an offense that allows him to throw the ball on time, on target, and have success doing so.
Well, if it is the setup like Detroit, maybe you'll have an opportunity this year.
Yeah.
Another offense that has struggled mightily in recent seasons, though last year through very little fault of the rookie Drake May, New England. Mike Vrabel taking over the head job there. Travion Henderson at running back still needs to get into the house, but the Pats very excited about this incoming draft class. You have Will Campbell coming in up front. Guys, by this point, I think it's really an in vogue pick to go with New England as a fast riser in 2025, but how high in this division can it ascend?
I know that a lot of people are digging New England because of Drake May. I think that this is like a diet soda-esque team. I mean, have you seen this beyond Drake May and the roster? I don't know what Ramondre Stevenson is. 2 years ago, I'm like, oh, wow, you and the defensive end the Falcons got last year.
Judon.
You and Matt Judon are like the only things good in New England. Then last year, Stevenson's play fell off dramatically. I don't think the offensive line is that great. They added Stephon Diggs. Whatever version of Stephon Diggs you're going to get at this point. Mac Hollins has always been a fine, competitive third receiver, but that's about it. Right. Demario Douglas had flashes last year, but he's limited. So the wide receiver core is not great. The offensive line is we'll see. They took Will Campbell in the first round. Then you flip over to the defense. I know they'll play hard because they'll play hard under Mike Vrabel, but I don't think they're going to be much on that side of the ball either.
I have no clue. I think they will probably still be the fourth team in the division. I don't know where those wins come from or where the explosive plays come from on the offensive side. I think defensively they'll be sound. They won't get beat because I think Mike Vrabel is a really good coach. He's he coaches really well and gets those guys prepared really well for week in and week out. But I don't know where the explosive plays come from.
I don't either.
Like when you look at that roster, there's nothing on. Like I tell people when we would prepare for a game, there are certain numbers that you have circled on the board. Like, I got to know where 52 is for the Ravens, 55. Like, I have to know where specific people are. Mm-hmm. When teams will play us, I got to make sure we know we disguise things for 7 and make sure 10 doesn't beat us. And like, when I look at this roster, I don't have a guy that I'm like, yeah, we got to make sure he doesn't beat us.
That's why I want Henderson actually in camp to display whether he has the ability to maybe be that home run hitter.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he's the every down back, but the flashes that we saw, considerable ones at Ohio State, you need to get him in camp. He could potentially be a difference maker at least.
That helps when you have a team that plays complementary football.
Yeah.
If you don't have anybody that's threatening you to run past you or put pressure on the secondary,
sure,
I can load the box and make sure you don't run the ball, and that makes life hard for a running game to even get started.
Life has also been hard when you're talking about South FLA. How the mighty have fallen offensively as of late. The Miami Dolphins, Mike McDaniel, it would appear maybe, if not coaching for his job, the seat is much warmer, tied to Tua, of course, at the quarterback position. Guys, for me, this team is littered with questions, almost as many as New York or perhaps New England, because I'm wondering, can Devin Achan be an every down back? Is he capable of filling that role with Mostert going away? And then you have the situations at receiver. Tyreek Hill, is he the same guy? And also what to make of the Ramsey-Fitzpatrick swap. Questions all over the place.
I think that this is probably, if Tua stays healthy, I think they're probably an 8-win team.
That's it?
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. I think much higher of the Dolphins just because of all the explosive players that they have offensively. I think the only thing that kind of stunted their growth and their progression is Tua continuously being hurt. Mm-hmm. Like you had Tyler Huntley last year, who he couldn't figure out how to get the offense going. It changed everything for them in terms of how they got aligned, moving the ball. It was games where Tyreek Hill had 0 targets.
Yeah.
So for me, that's a team, if Tua is healthy, I know Tyreek Hill is going to be targeted. I know he's going to get the ball. Jalen Waddle is going to get the ball. Devon Achan is a playmaker, is a 30, 40-yard run waiting to happen every time he touches the ball. And then you add it. I don't know what Darren Waller has. I don't know.
A record.
I ain't seen it.
Song. Yeah, no, I don't have that either.
I don't know what he's going to bring to the table, but I know what I've seen from him in the past. So you're just adding more. It's kind of the exact opposite of what I feel about the New England Patriots, where you don't have many explosive players that cause you concern. The Miami Dolphins have a lot of offensive players that concern the hell out of you, and you can't focus 2 guys on Tyreek Hill because Jalen Waddle will beat you. Yeah. If Darren Waller is able to do what he did a couple of years ago in Las Vegas, he can beat you. So you can't. He can tear up the middle of the field. And again, Devon Achan is a guy that makes big plays. He's a big play waiting to happen. And defensively, the trade I'm actually upset that the Steelers traded Minka for Jalen. I think Jalen is outstanding, but I would rather have a safety in the middle of the field, that can cover more ground and take up more space than a corner that's on one side of the field. So I think the Dolphins probably won that trade getting Minka back. So it'll be interesting to see how well this team is. If Tua's healthy, I think they can be a really good team, a team that is going to cause some damage this year.
Here's my Dolphins prediction. They start off really fast. We're talking about them again. Like, oh, look at this offense, or whatever. And then in the second half, there's a collapse.
Because it gets cold outside?
It gets cold outside. Injuries set in. 8-9.
Anthony, you stop it.
I'm surprised you like them this year. You never liked the Dolphins.
I do. I think a healthy Tua, I think they got something there.
All right. Bet the board next on 101 ESPN.
social with 101 ESPN. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, Threads, Blue Sky, and YouTube at 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
Drinkwitz makes waves at Media Daze. I'm Bradford Bruns. Your Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. This morning in Atlanta, Mizzou seized that SEC stage. Head coach Eli Drinkwitz coming out firing, touting playoff expansion, and confirming Sam Horn remains on campus. The quarterback had been selected as a 17th round MLB draft pick. Speaking of baseball, Ollie Marmol's Cardinals resume their schedule tomorrow. D-backs will host St. Louis, which rolls with Andre Palante as the starting hurler. Your Sports Center update was driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
On 101 ESPN, time to play Bet the Board. Spite lost again last night, Carey.
Sorry.
Jamie hit his play. I did not. Your guy in tennis didn't win either.
Ketty, Boo, took an L.
Oh, man, I'm so sorry. Did Marsh win?
Oh, no. The Fever.
No, that's right. They got trashed.
They got smoked,
yeah.
unfortunately.
That's too bad.
They tried.
Took it on the chin, lost by 20-ish.
Oh, man.
They tried.
Yeah.
No, Caitlin, that's what happens.
So, Jamie's still in the lead then. Bradford, do you have the updated standings? Or
Jamie has the lead, so he actually built on that. As a matter of fact, he had 8 going into yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, so that pushes the total to 9, and all of us are just trying to play catch-up.
Well, Jamie sent in his pick, and he likes the Toronto Argonauts tonight on the money line.
What is that?
Plus 400.
That's
kind of a roll of the dice.
That is a roll of the dice.
We'll see what happens. Yeah. Toronto Argonauts plus 400 on the money line.
That's tough.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Who's next?
You. I think you and I are tied.
I will take the over 51.5 in that same Toronto-Montreal game. Over 51.5 in that Toronto-Montreal game.
Alrighty. Well, I think
There's no WNBA.
Let's see.
There is the NBA.
There's no baseball. There's NBA Summer
League.
I think I will go back to the tennis court and, my guy, Yun Chowketti, Boo, unfortunately, didn't pick up the dub.
Oh, man.
But my guy, Adam Walton, is minus 150 versus Duckworth, who I took a couple of nights ago.
Oh, you're not backing Duckworth?
I should have took him last night. He won again. But I think it stops here. It stops here. Yeah.
Who are you taking?
Adam Walton, minus 150.
Got it.
Versus James Duckworth.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't know these guys. Anthony?
I just want to make sure that I get the names correctly.
A-Dub.
A-Dub, you call him.
Yeah, A-Dub, what we call him.
Now, we do have some classic matchups on the hardwood. I don't know if Marsh actually moved in that direction, but like me, perhaps he was looking at Boston, Los Angeles, the historic franchises tipping off in the 8 o'clock hour.
Really?
Maybe, yeah. At present, Boston actually favored by 3.5. But like me, I think Marshy has a little bit of a soft spot there for one Bronny James, who's doing his thing this summer, actually playing pretty well. If you're really just digging below the surface a little bit, watching both ends of the floor, Lakers here plus 3.5. Marshy's a money line sort of guy. He's thinking Lakes Joe.
Is he?
Yeah, he is.
On the money line?
Boom.
Okay.
Plus 140.
Plus one, yeah.
There you go.
Good job, Marshy.
Way to go, Marshy. Way to go.
Yeah.
By the way, sources telling ESPN that Dame Lillard finalizing a deal to return to the Trailblazers.
Really?
Couldn't get enough of the Trailblazers before. He's heading right back there, finalizing a 3-year, $42 million contract to return to Portland. Deal is expected to include a player option in 27-28 and have a no-trade clause.
Interesting. He's not playing this year.
Yeah.
He tore his Achilles.
Yep. But setting it up so he can play in Portland a year from now. Spent 11 seasons with the Trailblazers, making 7 All-Star appearances and 7 All-NBA teams.
Very interesting.
So you can go home again if you're
Absolutely.
Damon. He was
Clearly.
always so exceedingly comfortable in the Pacific Northwest. Nobody begrudged him. It almost, for lack here of a better comparison, it reminded me, guys, when Milwaukee was able to facilitate that deal. You wanted to see Dame actually be relevant in the postseason. Not quite as old as Ray Bork when he went to the Avalanche, but it reminded me of as such. Later stage of the career, you wanted him to get that opportunity to compete on the biggest stage. It didn't work out there, so now you have still a very young crop of players, a big reason as to why he left in the first place, left Rip City. But Portland's trying to do some things, trying to actually have Mr. Big Shot in place there as the head coach, Billups, and we'll see what happens in the next couple of years. West is wild. Who knows?
Oh, I think we know.
Do we?
Dame Lillard's not.
Dame time?
I
You
don't
know it's Dame time. You know. I don't know if it'll be Dame time. I don't know when it'll be Dame time again.
I don't think it'll ever be Portland Trailblazer time.
It'll be Dame time. Well, championship?
Huh?
A championship? A championship?
Yeah, just being relevant.
Nah, they'll be fine.
Okay. If you missed it earlier, the Steelers and TJ Watt agreed to a 3-year, $123 million extension. So TJ Watt going to stay right where he's at in Pittsburgh.
Steelers.
Carey is super excited.
I mean, we all knew this was going to happen. We knew it, right?
Foregone conclusion, absolutely. Wide receiver Mike Williams is also retiring. So he returned to speaking of returning, he went back to the Chargers this offseason and said, you know what?
I'm done.
Not feeling it.
Yeah.
He decided to retire. And Chief star Rashee Rice sentenced to 30 days of jail time.
That's
5 years probation.
and potentially going to face suspension from the league, which that was one of the reasons why I believe that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be hard to beat this year. Having him, Hollywood Brown, like having all those guys back, Xavier Worthy going into his second year, I thought that they were going to be dynamic because having all those guys healthy and playing at a high level, I think it makes life hard on opposing defenses. If he has to miss a significant amount of time, because he has to do 30 days in jail. I don't know when they'll probably push it off until after the season is over. But
I would think
him being suspended from the NFL, potentially, that could be a detriment to what the Kansas City Chiefs are trying to do.
I would say so. Yeah, so the police said Rice was traveling at 119 miles per hour in a Lamborghini sport utility vehicle shortly before May 30th, 2024, crashed in Dallas.
Yeah.
Guys, the NFL does the whole rookie symposium and all of that. I mean, at some point, don't you look at the Henry Ruggs tragedy and say, man,
I mean, you can look at what happened with the Georgia players as well.
Absolutely.
You've had real life experience here in the last couple of years where people have passed.
People have lost their lives
because of guys speeding. So, yeah, I wouldn't need to experience it myself. I could learn from other people's mistakes, and hopefully, he went through this. Hopefully, he has learned. Hopefully, guys in the future don't feel the need to see how fast their cars can go. They have those numbers on there for a reason. They can get up to that speed, but it's not really safe to do that on a highway or in a crowded area.
Anywhere, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're if you're NASCAR, okay, you'll be all right. Bill Reloaded from the Snake Pit said, any news on Terry McLaurin? Nothing on Terry McLaurin yet, who's still in a contract dispute with the Washington Commanders. All right, we got what's trending. We'll kind of just continue this party next on 101 ESPN.
The MLB is on ESPN Saturday. Mets and Reds. Pregame at 2:30. First pitch at 3:10. The MLB plays on 101 ESPN.
My guy Stewie's on the line right now, and Stewie, I know sometimes you advise people that sometimes you have to take a couple of steps back just to move a couple of steps forward. What do you mean in your industry?
Anthony, we had a customer that came in and he started to get into debt. His credit score started to drop, and it's like a toothache. If you don't take care of it right away, it gets worse. He came in, his credit score was 620. Well, we refinanced the loan, consolidated debt. Unfortunately, he lost that great 3% that he had. A couple of years back, he had a great rate. But he ended up with a higher rate because of his credit score and an FHA loan, which requires PMI. Now, this week, we refinanced him. His credit score went from 620 to 762. Took down his interest rate 2%, saved another $500 overall on his overall cash flow, saving $3,000 a month in payments. It's huge. It's a life changer. It changes his quality of life. And you know who called me to thank me? His wife.
I'm sure. Because, listen, it can have that sort of thing can have an impact, not just you individually, but as Stewie just mentioned, on your family. So stop beating yourself up. Stop looking at maybe some risky choices. Pick up the phone. Call our guy Stewie at 314-324-4440. That's his personal cell phone number. Same number I've used in the past. Call him, text him, say, this is my situation. Might not be as bad as you think either. Stewie has seen all kinds of things. He's helped out so many people. So give him a chance. Tell him what your situation is. Ask him the appropriate questions, and then let him do the work because he is the best. If you miss that phone number, you can also Google the Bagel Loan. Thanks, Stewie.
Have a great night.
NMLS number 226715.
In the fast lane on 101 ESPN. What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Edging closer to the 5 o'clock hour in the fast lane on this Thursday. Bradford Brun's Anthony Stalter, Super Bowl champion Carey Davis with you on 101 ESPN. Guys, in the last segment, we were able to get into quite a bit of the NFL goings-on that have developed today. But let's swing it to the college gridiron. Not the Big Ten per se, but rather SEC Media Daze winding down slowly in Atlanta. And today, MU indeed took center stage. The head coach Eli Drinkwitz talking about a number of different topics. I did want to play this audio for you, courtesy of the SEC Network, because not only did Drink confirm, all right, Sam Horny's still on campus. He's going to battle for the #1 quarterback job with Bo Prabula. But when asked about the potential for further expansion in the CFP, well, here's what Drink had to say.
If we did the 12, okay, and you had 4 automatic qualifiers, everybody thinks that's limiting. It's not limiting if you think about it from, you take those 4 automatic qualifiers qualifiers, and you divide that up into 8 opportunities of 8 play-in games. So now you're taking the SEC's playing in for 8, you're taking the Big Ten's playing in for 8. Since we've expanded the bubble to 16, give 3 to the Pac, 3 to the Big 12, 3 to the ACC, 1. Now you've got 30 teams. 30 teams. Now we're talking about an opportunity for 30 teams, 30 fan bases to be excited and engaged in giving revenue.
Well, that's rather ambitious. A little too much too soon?
Okay.
I would say so. 30. I don't know. Here's my biggest problem with what Eli Drinkwitz just said there. It's saying like, well, you can give 3 to the ACC, you give 3 to the whoever. If those 3 teams aren't playoff worthy, then they shouldn't get just automatic bids in.
Correct.
I think the biggest problem moving forward now is figuring out what the hell to do with these conferences. Because the Pac-12 has been, I mean, it has been eliminated essentially. Yeah. The Big 12 is not on the same, level as the Big 10, obviously,
right.
In the SEC, the ACC, same deal. So why should you just expand it to include 3 teams out of each conference when the conferences are not on level playing grounds?
Yeah, those teams have to earn the right to be in the college football playoff. And I think that's probably what some of the frustration is for other teams outside of the Big Ten and the SEC is it's just expected that those teams are automatically given those bids. Yeah, I think you just earned it. I'm cool with. I was excited about the first year of the college football playoff.
Me too.
I thought it went well. I like that they changed. That it's no longer the top team from those conferences. It's just going to be the top team. Period. The top 4 will get the selection to be able to have the home field and have the bye. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think everything is going according to plan. And if you want to be in, win.
Right.
Like at the end of the day, if you fancy yourself as a national champion or a national championship contender, you got to win. Mm-hmm. If you don't win, it doesn't matter. So I think Mizzou was set up, we talked about this yesterday, they were set up very well to go and have a playoff run. They didn't take care of their business. They didn't take care of their business at Texas A&M. They didn't take care of their business at South Carolina. There's another game, I can't remember what the other game was that they lost.
Bradford.
As far as beyond South Carolina?
South Carolina, A&M, and Alabama. They got stumped at Alabama.
That was tough, though.
They kicked a field goal at the end of the game?
Yes, sir, they did.
Yeah, they got thumped at Bama.
Was that one or was it A&M?
Oh, no, it was Bama.
It was Bama.
No,
some points on the board.
Texas A&M.
I thought it was I think
it might have been A&M.
Excuse me, that was Kyle Field.
Yeah, I think it was A&M.
And they kicked the field goal just to feel better?
I had it reversed because at Alabama, so Tuscaloosa there, you were able to eke out a couple of field goals in the first half, and then when Cook exited in quarter 2, you couldn't do anything. You couldn't get past midfield.
That was nasty.
Yeah, Alabama put their starters back in, I think, at the end of that game so that Mizzou wouldn't score.
That's a tough way to go out. Yeah. But no, I obviously Eli's trying to make the case for Mizzou. If Mizzou was in the Big 12, I don't think he's clamoring for the top 3 teams to get in for each conference.
Carey, I think the two of us may have a little more MU-related fun in the 5 o'clock hour. But for now, the Open Championship. Hey, let's get an update on our friend Scotty Scheffler. He's in the mix after round 1. He carded a 3-under today. But the leaderboard right now looking pretty crowded. You have Fitzpatrick as well as Olsen among 3 tied at 4-under. I'm interested, though, in Rory McIlroy. Obviously, with roots over there across the pond. Beyond the Masters, though. Hasn't exactly been the easiest road for McIlroy. So hot take question here, guys. Did we see the zenith, the peak of McIlroy's career there at Augusta, or are we going to see a rebound at some point sometime soon?
I don't think, I mean, Rory, Jamie got ticked off yesterday when listening to Scotty Scheffler talk. Mm-hmm. Did you listen to Rory after he won the Masters?
I didn't hear. What did he say?
The following week, he's like, this one was kind of tough to get up for. It might have been. I don't know. It may have even been the next majors tournament.
Maybe it's more pressure in golf. So here's my thought about that.
These guys are either more honest, Carey, or they crumble more.
Well, maybe I think team sports forces you, and it also allows you to be more reliant on other people. Like, it's not just you. Like, and sometimes playing an individual sport, maybe there's more pressure on that individual to be great. And we haven't seen it because Serena was so great at her individual sport. Tiger was so great at his individual sport. And we never heard them speak like that. But maybe playing an individual sport, and Simone Biles, there's a team competition element to it, but there's also the singular person where she's competing by herself in events. Maybe we just don't hear it, but maybe there's more pressure to an individual sports athlete than it is for a team.
Maybe.
And so maybe these guys are like, man, this is because it's all on you. Like, you can have a bad game.
We out
as a professional hockey player, but the team plays great. You can have a bad game as an NBA player, but the team around you picks you up. If you have a bad day and you are in an individual sport, it's just you, man.
Yeah.
And ain't nobody coming to save you.
No, very true.
So maybe there's a level of pressure for people playing individual sports that we don't really think about.
We don't acknowledge because we're jerks.
Probably.
By the way, it was A&M. They kicked. I was just curious. 8 seconds.
They didn't score against Bama.
Right. They got shut out against Bama, and they did not. They went for it on fourth and goal from the Alabama 1. So they did not attempt the field goal there. 8 seconds left against A&M. They decided to give Blake Craig some work.
Scored a lot of points against South Carolina. Not enough. Didn't get a stop.
They didn't get that last stop. Luther, that's the game where Luther caught that pass down the sideline to score the game-winning touchdown. We thought.
It could have been an all-timer play-wise, for real.
Yeah. Then they got Lenora Stellarst.
Him too.
Lenoris Sellers.
Yep.
In the fourth.
That'll happen to a lot of teams this season.
It definitely will.
At least they beat Iowa.
Lenoris had 5 touchdowns passing.
That was actually a fun game.
Yeah,
for real.
It was.
Nice signature cap-off moment for Cook.
It certainly was. Absolutely.
Great game the year before against Ohio State, too.
Oh, yeah. That was a great one.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. All right. We good?
Yeah, great.
Biggest question of the day centers on Mo. The trade deadline next on 101 ESPN.
Blues hockey is on 101 ESPN.
Get the inside scoop on and off the ice with the Last Minute Blues podcast with Alex Ferrario, Jeremy Rutherford, and Donnie Fandango.
Blues opinion, talk, and speculation. It's what we do.
Watch or listen to the Last Minute Blues podcast on our YouTube channel or at 101ESPN.com.
Sponsored by Central Bank.
Magic here in Cardinals Nation. Can you feel it? Central Bank is the hometown bank of the St. Louis Cardinals. Sign up for Cardinals checking with Central Bank and get your exclusive green embroidered Cardinals jersey and 2 game tickets. See bank for details. Member FDIC.
It's Wiggity's Hot Lot Blowout at Auto Centers Nissan, and they've got over 1,000 vehicles all in one massive location right off I-55 in Herculaneum, so no hunting across 5 lots, no games, just straight-up deals. And right now, Auto Centers Nissan has 0% APR for 60 months, 0 down, and no payments for 3 months on 2025 Rogues, Pathfinders, and Muranos, all built right here in the USA. I'm driving a Murano right now from Auto Centers Nissan. I compliments all the time, and people are like, man, nice ride. I'm like, yeah, it's 2025 Murano. Make sure you head out to Herculaneum and talk to my friends out there at Auto Centers Nissan because they've got the deals. They've got great pricing. In fact, they got dealer pricing. They give you a lifetime warranty and a 30-day return promise on every new vehicle. Dealer pricing, lifetime warranty, 30-day return promise on every new vehicle. And if you're not searching for a new vehicle, if you're looking for a used car, Auto Centers has 0 down and no payments for 3 months on used vehicles as well. So get to Auto Centers Nissan in Herculaneum or visit autocentersnissan.com while Wiggity's Hot Lot Blowout is on.
Accidents can happen in the blink of an eye, especially in a busy city like St. Louis. Whether you're a rideshare driver or passenger, injuries can leave you feeling lost, confused, and unsure of where to turn. At Kaufman Townsley, we understand. We're from here. We live in St. Louis, and we know what it takes to fight for the rights of our neighbors. We're here to help you through the difficult time with the experience and care you deserve. Kaufman Townsley, real people, real results. Call 314-500-5000. That's 314-500-5000.
When you get hurt, you don't want to end up on the injured list. You want to get back in the game stronger than ever. At Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, we fight for you, making sure big insurance doesn't throw you a curveball. With over $25 billion recovered, we're the home run hitters you need.
This is way out there and gone.
Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Proud sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
My buddy Derek Stevens, owner of Circa Sports Las Vegas. He has amazing contests going on right now. Two of my favorites, by the way, are Circa Million and Circa Survivor. There's a total of $21 million in guaranteed prizes, and there's no rake either. So all that means is that if the entries go above that number, all of that extra money right back into the prize pool. That's because Derek wants everybody to have a great time with this. But you got to get to Las Vegas. You've got to register in person. You have until September 6th at 2 p.m. to do so. But once you do that, all you have to do is download the Circa Sports Illinois app in the palm of your hand. It's fantastic. Then you can operate your contest. You can place daily wagers, player props, parlays, all of those things available. And let's not forget that Circa Sports has the best odds of any app that is out there, so that means bigger payouts for you. So please don't miss out on any of this action. Download Bet Like a Pro with your Circa Sports Illinois app today and join in on all the excitement. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day and nothing worked until Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Who would have believed Mark Patrick Hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again, my blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking without cravings, irritability, or weight gain guarantee. Early bird special only $49.99. Don't just cut down, but stop smoking once and for all, or your money back. Seminar 8 p.m. on Tuesday, August 5th at the Holiday Inn St. Louis Creve Coeur, or 8 p.m. on Wednesday, August 6th at the Radisson Hotel Fairview Heights. Registration 30 minutes before seminar. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
WXOS HD1 East St. Louis 101 ESPN is driven by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. 2 former pros and 1 average Joe. You're listening to The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. The biggest question of the day, brought to you by Mentality. Our patients experience a 30% increase in testosterone levels. Reclaim your health at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
5:05, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Bradford runs in for Andrew Marsh. Jamie had some family stuff to take care of. He will be back on Monday. Andrew Marsh will be back on Tuesday. We got our biggest question of the day, which kind of centers on some of the things that we've been talking about throughout the course of the day. We talked to John Denton of MLB.com, who broke down what the Cardinals trade deadline could look like, and he seemed to be, I wouldn't say optimistic, but at least open to the idea, Carey, that the Cardinals could deal some of these position players, not just the 3 relievers that keep getting brought up, those 3 relievers being Ryan Helsley, Phil Maton, and Steven Matz. He threw out there, well, maybe the Yankees, with all their issues at third base, could still be interested in Arenado. Perhaps the Dodgers, with the Max Muncy injury, could be interested. So he was open to the idea. Biggest question, though. Do you believe that Mo will be aggressive at the deadline? Aggressive could be multiple deals, or he's selling, some combination of selling and buying. Do you think he'll be aggressive?
Unfortunately, I don't think so. I think it would be, let me ask you this. Would it be contradictory to what he's done his entire tenure?
I wouldn't say entire, but for the majority of his tenure, yes.
So it would be in contradiction of what you've seen from him.
Yes.
So when people show you who they are, trust them.
I agree.
And so I don't think that there's going to be a huge move at the deadline that, either trading players away or bringing players back. It might be something safe where and then it all depends on where the Cardinals are. If you are where you are right now, 1 game, 1.5 games, 2 games out of the wild card, they may feel like they're just a piece away and stand pat. And then you lose those guys in the offseason for nothing, but that's how baseball goes.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't. So, no, to answer your question, no, I don't think there's going to be some crazy move at the deadline where the Cardinals are removing a lot of players, selling off, and bringing back young prospects to help this team in the future. I would like it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm with you. Because Jamie posed the question earlier, too. He posed it a different way, but I'm with you. I don't think that John Mozeliak is suddenly going to become aggressive. I think he's going to stay the course. He's going to be risk averse. He's going to continue to listen to offers, but those offers they're not going to do anything.
Right.
They're not going to do anything for him. I think they could. I think those probably trade away the relievers. But other than that,
see, I don't even know if that's a foregone conclusion. I don't think
anything's a foregone conclusion.
I don't know that. And it's so interesting because as we were talking to John Denton and we brought up that article that Katie Wu wrote, how one executive says the Cardinals could be a linchpin for a lot of teams. They have a lot of players that people could be interested in. And when you look at the roster as it's constructed and whether or not this team is playoff bound or championship bound, like, you can look at it and say, hey, we do have some pieces that would make people interested and come to the table with something that could help us in the long run. If this year is not a year where you're going to make the playoffs or going to have an early exit out of the playoffs. Now, anything could happen, right? We always talk about, oh, well, what about that 1 year? Yeah, those are the exceptions to the rules. The rule is if you are a middling team all season long, you don't just turn it on when the playoffs start.
Yeah.
It don't work that way.
Right.
Like, you're either really good, really bad, or you're somewhere in the middle.
Yep.
And the Cardinals are kind of in that middle area, maybe a little bit better than the middle, but they're not consistent enough for you to believe that they can continuously be better.
Is it an all or nothing thing for you too? Because that's the way I'm looking at it. Like if you decide to trade, let's just say Phil Maton, right? Or you attempt to trade Phil Maton and you trade away Ryan Helsley.
Yeah.
To me, you're all in now in terms of being a seller.
So I don't
think you could. You do bits and pieces.
I don't think you trade Phil Maton and not trade Ryan Helsley.
Yeah.
But I could see you trading Ryan Helsley and not trading Phil Maton, if that makes sense. I don't know if it does, but I think Ryan Helsley is the piece that most teams are going to be seeking if they're looking for that, if they're looking for a closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you start trading off some of those guys, you need to trade all of them.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the position players, because I don't know what that looks like in terms of who you believe is going to be taking the place of those guys. But if you're going to get rid of the expiring contracts, then get rid of them.
You might as well move them. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think that if you're Mo and you've watched over the last couple of weeks how this team has really struggled to just tread water. If you watch that Cubs series, if you watch the Atlanta series, how long do you think you can walk that tightrope before you fall off? And I don't think it's very far. You have two guys in your rotation that could get destroyed on any given night. Why not do what you intended to do coming into the year, which was free up enough spots to play young guys so you can develop them, bring up Graceffo, clear those spots at the deadline, and move forward with this development plan. And tell your fan base, hey, look, first half was good, unfortunately not good enough.
Right.
And we need to fulfill the promise that we had at the start of the year, which is looking toward the future.
I think that's much easier. It's much easier to do if this team is fourth in the division and 8 to 10 games out of the wild card. Like, then you can actually say, oh, we stink. We're not good enough right now.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get better. But I think you're trying to do both. You're trying to please two masters. Like, you're trying to get the youth movement going, but hell, we actually are winning. So,
right.
Hell with that. We're going to win.
It's a bad spot to be in.
It's a tough
when you're
spot to be in.
trying to pick, just choose one lane. Yeah. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Bill Reloaded from the Snake Pit says, excited when Mo stops making decisions. Well, it's coming.
Mo's going to be making decisions his whole life.
Oh, yeah. I think he means on the Cardinals, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I've got some concession stand duties, boys. Yeah. I got to unfortunately get out of here for the last hour.
Been there, buddy.
For the last 3. Yeah, if you have kids and they're involved in sports and everything, you may
How long are you going to be doing that?
Oh, I think my slot is like through midnight.
Like the Rams post game.
Yeah, it's basically a Rams post game.
Starts at 6. We'll get out of there about midnight, 1 o'clock.
If we're lucky.
If everything goes according.
Yeah, I looked. I reconfirmed the email and I go, oh man. Holy smokes.
You'll be home just in time to get that Lakers season recap.
There you go. Yeah, I'll be looking for that. So we got a diehard Mizzou fan and graduate. We've got a diehard Illinois fan, former player and graduate. So Illinois, Mizzou, CD, Bradford. Seriously, which program has more upside over the next 3 years? These two will debate it next on 101 ESPN.
The Redbird Report. Your front row seat to all things Cardinals. From the dugout to the diamond, BK and T-Bone go deep with the latest news, notes, and analysis. Watch the Redbird Report on YouTube or listen online at 101ESPN.com. Buckle up. This is the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane. I'm Carey Davis, joined by Bradford Bruns. Anthony Stalter is off to do those concessions for his child's sports, baseball or softball, and Jamie Rivers is off to handle a family situation, so nothing bad. He's good. It's me and Bradford. We got some Mizzou and Illinois talk. Anthony teased it before he left. We're talking about Illinois football, the state of Illinois football versus the state of Missouri football.
That's right.
Bradford, I don't know if you recall. Now, basketball is one thing. Illinois pretty much dominates that series.
Okay,
we can talk about bragging rights if we want to. But on terms of Illinois versus Mizzou in football, we used to have a series, and I'm kind of glad that it's over because we were getting the brakes beat off of us in that football series. We didn't win one game when Illinois played Mizzou.
That was glorious, man. I went down to the Dome. Juice Williams.
It was terrible. It was terrible. Brad Smith showed up, and I was like, who the hell is this guy? It was tough to watch. But looking at the state of Illinois football for the next 3 years versus the state of Mizzou football, Illinois is in a situation similar to what Mizzou was in last year. Mizzou coming off of a great season last year, had high expectations 2 years ago, had high expectations going into last season to be in the college football playoffs. Illinois is kind of in that similar situation. Had a great season last year, 10-win season, and now those expectations for Illinois to be in the college football playoffs are there. When you're looking at what Mizzou went through last year in comparison to 2 years ago, what did you see kind of take place or change in how that team maybe didn't meet those expectations as most people believe they should?
Yeah, absolutely. We've actually talked about this at great length on BK and Ferrario. We're of the same opinion. BK, yours truly, fellow Mizzou grads, the honks. We get it. We understand it, text line. But by the same token, the pursuit really that takes place after you have been able to surpass and exceed expectations, right? So a couple of years ago, that's the thing. Not a lot of national types. If you were local, if you were regional, you were optimistic about going into a junior campaign for Brady Cook. You knew you had one of the best offensive weapons in the nation, one of the most exciting guys this program has ever seen in Luther Burden III. And definitely you hoped that with the offensive coordinator there in place, with Kirby Moore, with a lot of the toys that you had, you could have a very good 2023. But blowing those expectations out of the water, yes, you received a few quality breaks along the way, but that was a very solid team in all three phases. And then say what you will about the way in which it concluded there at the Cotton Bowl, you were able to punctuate that season with a victory over, yes, the second and third stringers, but still, it was Ohio State. So what did that do? It created and it engendered so much more in the way of expectation for 2024. And the fact of the matter, Carey, is that Drinkwitz did return so much talent on both sides of the football. It reminds me, moving forward, of what Bielema has in his hands at Illinois this coming season. And so a lot of things happen. You're no longer basically flying below that radar. Right. Teams, especially in the SEC, you give an offseason to these defensive coordinators, they're going to adjust. Now, not only, a lot of people had some issues with the way or lack thereof Brady Cook slinging it around as a senior. The offense appeared to be more vanilla. It just couldn't get on track. Why wasn't it moving the ball down the field with more regularity? Heck, even Luther Burden, his numbers took a huge hit, and we realized, okay, maybe Luther hadn't exactly perfected that route tree, right? The ground game, you lost Cody Schrader. He was one of the best in the entire country, and not enough, in my estimation, was said about that. So at the end of the day, you still picked up a double-digit win campaign. You went to a decent bowl. You beat a quality program in Iowa, but how does it stack up now when you're transitioning into a new era? You have a new quarterback. You have less continuity offensive line-wise, because anytime you lose a top 6 draft pick in Armand Mimbu, you're going to take a hit there. That's why I think, Carey, swinging it over to your side, it's so paramount that Illinois being in this eerily similar situation to where Missouri was just a season ago, the returning talent, the guy who's been there at the most important position in Altmaier at the controls for one more year. Yes, you have to figure out how to withstand and weather the loss, the departure of Pat Bryant. But with all due respect, you take him out of the equation, I see very few holes on this team. Now, the question becomes, there's no doubt in my mind that this squad is going to be pushing for 8, 9, 10 victories on the season. But that pursuit, is it going to be quite as sweet as what you had last year when it was basically unexpected.
So a couple of things. With Mizzou, the one thing that I did speak about was the loss of Cody Schrader going into last year. That young man did everything for that offense. And I tell people this, watching Cody Schrader, I became a huge Cody Schrader fan because I've never seen a running back not take a play off. That young man, I think it was the Tennessee game, he played every single snap until like the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game. That's pass protection, running routes, running the football. He did not come out of the game. And I told these two, and I told anybody that would listen, that Mizzou would probably take a step back in that area because that man was different for that team. And it kind of shifted how they went about their business. And I also think about this with Mizzou and Illinois. Mizzou won 10 games last year, and everybody said it was a down year.
I know.
Like, oh, they won 10 games. Oh, they didn't have a great year. Illinois won 10 games, and everybody was like, oh, they had a great year because of the expectations going into the season. And so to your point, to piggyback off of what you were saying about Illinois going into this year with those expectations, yes, we did lose Pat Bryant. He was the best receiver that we had, one of the best receivers in the Big Ten, third-round draft pick to the Denver Broncos, going to have a really good career in the NFL. But everyone else, for the most part, the quarterback, Luke Altmaier, you talked about, is back. They got a host of running backs that they've had 4 running backs last year that they used all 4 of those guys.
Nice
3
rotation.
of those guys are back. One of them, Josh McCray, transferred, but they got the bulk of those guys back. The offensive line, they're returning 15 starters from last year's team that won 10 games. So for me, looking at what Illinois has for the future, and then I look at the schedule. Like, it's not as daunting as it has been in years past. You don't have Oregon this year. You don't have Penn State this year. You don't have a Michigan team who, I don't know what they're going to be, but you don't have to face those guys. You only have Ohio State on the schedule that you feel like is probably going to be the number 1 team going into the season.
For sure.
And they're going to be a really good team again. But that's really the only stressful game on paper that you have if you're the Illini. And so there's no reason why this team should not win another 10-win season and potentially more and be ready to be in part of the college football playoff.
Yeah, I want to get back to what you said about just the different ways in which so many of us viewed how Mizzou concluded its season versus Illinois, even though you were talking about that identical number of victories, 10-10. I think a lot of that has to do with the manner in which Mizzou, on those 3 occasions, Mizzou was beaten and beaten soundly.
Yeah.
You weren't in those games. You basically went to Kyle Fields when you had an opportunity, just a representative performance there. Yes, I know the environment. Yes, I know the hostility there of the atmosphere, but you basically didn't show up, okay? So that's strike number 1. You knew Alabama would be exceptionally daunting with a hindered Cook. Now, I didn't think that Milroe and company would beat the brakes off of the Tigers as they did. And then the tail end of the season, after a ridiculous comeback, it's a ridiculous atmosphere in South Carolina, too.
Yeah.
So you give that up. Your defense, with the exception of Walker, yes, you had some holes, of which you had many, actually, I should note, in the secondary. And Carey, I'm not exactly sold on that unit again moving into 2025. But whereas Illinois, with very few exceptions, you felt as if that team, the physical brand of football, the attitude, the ability to really be able to take care of business down the stretch, the team was in virtually each and every game.
Yeah.
And also, you saw
Oregon, they weren't in there.
Oregon, okay. Well, I mean, how many people could have said otherwise in that instance?
They got
but
smoked.
I do think also, now both of these teams, say what you will about attributing the importance of a bowl victory, but going up against a South Carolina common opponent there.
Yeah.
Okay, final game of the season.
Yep.
Citrus Bowl festivities.
Yep.
Pretty authoritative, and at the very least, it leaves you with a positive taste in your mouth, because at that time you didn't know you'd have so many returning faces.
Right.
You were hopeful, you were optimistic,
Right.
but that means something, especially when I think you're going up against a team in South Carolina. We talked about it earlier today, yesterday on the SEC Media Daze preview. We expect this team to possibly be a dark horse contender for CFP accolades. So when
Right.
you beat a team like that, to me, I assign more importance to that sort of victory.
Yeah, that was a huge win for the Illini. Obviously, it got them to 10 wins for the year, which I think has only happened 10 times in our history. 6 times in our history to have a 10-win season. and as you said, a common opponent in South Carolina who Mizzou was unable to beat. Now, it was a neutral site for Illinois. We didn't have to go to South Carolina, and Mizzou went into South Carolina and unfortunately lost that game. But I do think Illinois, they played a great game, and South Carolina, their entire team, for the most part, I think their linebacker Knight might have been out. He was a draft pick, but I think the entire team, other than that, was pretty much on the field and playing in that game. So it was a huge win for the Illini. Mizzou, again, I think they had a really good season, but I think the frustration, you had the game versus versus Boston College where you were down early in that game. Then the following week you had Vanderbilt where you won in overtime. So and you didn't know how good Vanderbilt was. They ended up beating the number 1 team in the country. So you look at that win in overtime, you say, it's not as bad as maybe it seemed at the time. But those two almost losses, and then to come back and lose the following week to Texas A&M, I think that's where a lot of the frustration came in for Mizzou fans. And then conversely, Illinois, the 2 losses that we had, Penn State number 9 in the country on the road. We lost in Happy Valley. And then we go up to Eugene. They're the number 1 team in the country, and you lose that game. So you look at it and he's like, those are 2 good losses, but then you follow that up with a terrible loss to Minnesota at home, where even if you beat Minnesota at home, you're probably in the college football playoff with only 2 losses against 2 top 10 ranked teams on the road. So it's a lot going into this season for both programs. You obviously want to go forward and take a step forward and see if you can add another 10-win season onto the resume, which helps in recruiting, which helps bring more fans to the stadium and get people more engaged. And it changes the trajectory of your program when you can build back-to-back 10-win seasons and start building on that.
Oh, for sure. And I want to get to the bigger picture here, trajectory-wise, in just a second. But Carey, for 2025, for the purpose of just this season, I think the lens also through which fans, both sides, are viewing the chances, the prospects for 2025. Can you get to double-digit territory and so forth? It's different, and maybe strikingly different, because for once, at least for the first time in a few years, the faithful there at Memorial Stadium, they're not entirely sure what to expect at the quarterback position. You have a known commodity now, which Mizzou had for so many years with Brady Cook. At times, you did proceed, obviously, to ride the roller coaster, but the great times, I think many would say, objective people, subjective people, far outweighed the negatives there. Now, you're not entirely sure. Is it going to be, you would think in all likelihood, you brought Bo Prabula onto campus for a reason. Conflicting reports about the NIL figures there, but a dual threat quarterback. A lot of people were maligning the lack of mobility at times from a Brady Cook, but Sam Horn, on the other hand, he has the arm action, the arm talent, right?
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is that you don't really know at left tackle, number 1, what you're going to do to protect the blind side of either individual. You love who you have in the backfield in Ahmad Hardy, one of the best offensive transfers in this particular class. But shifting it over to Champaign, people are bullish, and rightfully so, on the Fighting Illini's offense. And I'm wondering, from your standpoint, as you evaluate an Altmaier going into this season, kept around, obviously, when you view him through the lens of what he could maybe do, not only for this program, but at the next level, does he project for you as somebody who can play beyond this stage, or what does he have to do?
I don't know what his projections are in terms of next year, after this season, and at the next level. I think he's probably, a late 6th, 7th round guy, free agent type of. He's probably more similar to Brady Cook than anything else. Like they probably mirror each other in a way that is extremely fascinating. So I think that's probably where he is, unless he has one of those crazy, 3,000-4,000 yard seasons and 40 touchdowns, which I don't know if the Illini are built for that. What I will tell you, that defensively, I think they're going to be outstanding. They were last year. This is probably. I watch a lot of football, and I'm not being a homer when I say this. Like, I watch the Illini play football, and they are one of the most sound defensive teams I ever saw.
It's
like
a Bielema staple, right?
They were so sound in their gaps. They did not have mishaps. They weren't missing assignments. You get beat by somebody being better than you on a go route or on an out route or a dig route. That's just man to man, and that guy was better than me on that play. But when we're talking about the entire concept of defense, they are where they're supposed to be. They are in line. They're they're in place and they are making the tackle and getting the guy on the ground, the first guy to the ball carrier most times. So for me, I think this team is going to run the ball. You're going to have some play action passes, but that defense is going to be the thing that leads them to have success. If they have success, it's going to be led by that defense, and those guys are going to do a great job at it.
And for me, somebody who doesn't follow the program quite as closely there, I am curious. The vibes right now, they're immaculate. They may never be better as far as being optimistic right here, right now in mid-July, getting closer to August. But given what Bret Bielema has instituted now in Champaign, you have so many returning pieces and toys. Your hopes are they're astronomically high. But how much better now do you feel about this program's chances of parlaying the success in the years to come versus what you saw maybe over the last couple of years? Because I think there is this national perception that Bret Bielema, sound a coach as he is, he's somebody who may not be in the top tier per se, but he can get a program to up here.
You're right.
But can he elevate it? Can he elevate it that much more? Has that perception changed? Does he have the ability to do that with this group? How is it different?
I think he does have it with this group. Like I said, this defense is sound. He has a great group of coaches that just prepare those guys like nothing I've ever seen. So I'm excited about this team. Brett got his contract extension earlier this year, so he's going to be in the lineup for a while. There are no concerns of him going anywhere. Iowa being one of the places I think a lot of people were concerned about him potentially replacing Kirk Ferentz at some point, but he's going to be in the Illini, and this team for me is probably the most excited I've been about an Illinois team in 5, 10, 15, maybe since I was playing. I think this team is going to be really good. I know there are a lot of high expectations, but, we'll see. We'll see if they're able to match and meet those expectations and have a great season again.
I love the roster constitution. We talked about possible punishments yesterday, CD. Now, I'm a man of my word here, okay? And I know the Mizzou over-under isn't exactly as lofty at present as Illinois, but I do, honestly, when you're talking about opening the campaign with 6 consecutive games at home, that's never happened, by the way. 6 games, the majority of which they are going to come against, let's just be honest, cupcakes. Now, week 4 versus South Carolina, that's another realm.
Right.
5-1, 6-0 sort of start, that should be within the range of outcomes. That should be what you demand, honestly. I'm willing to put it down here. I'm saying head-to-head. I don't know exactly what the bet is going to be.
With more wins than Mizzou, for sure.
Regular season wins.
Regular season wins.
All right.
ILL.
You brainstorm it. You get back to me because we'll see what comes to fruition there.
That's Bradford Bruns. I'm Carey Davis. Earlier today, we had John Denton on, and he was talking about what could be happening at the trade deadline. He also talked about J.J. Weatherholt. We got some of your mic drops. We're going to play those when we return on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN has your chance to meet Adam Wainwright at this year's Big League Bash at the Factory July 27th. Our winner will receive 2 tickets to the Big League Bash, featuring Adam Wainwright in concert, along with appearances from Cardinals players and Fred Bird, a silent auction, and more. All to support Big League Impact. Plus, our winner and guest will receive 2 passes to meet Wayno prior to the show. Tickets to the Big League Bash, supported by Community America Credit Union, are on sale now. Find all the details and that chance to win free Big League Bash tickets and meet and greet passes to meet Adam Wainwright right now at 101ESPN.com and on your 101 mobile app. can now watch 101 ESPN live on our Air Alliance Team Studio Cams. Catch every show live on our YouTube channel or at 101ESPN.com. 101 ESPN Studio Cams.
Presented by the Air Alliance Team Heating and Cooling. Getting the job done quickly, correctly, 100% of the time.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
Redbirds head out to the desert. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns with a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Tomorrow, baseball's second half finally resumes as St. Louis takes it on the road to Arizona. The third-place Cardinals, of course, going up against AZ. Andre Palante will be the starter on that occasion. Earlier, during the Fast Lane, John Denton of MLB.com stopped by talking J.J. Weatherholt, among many other prospects and topics relating to the Redbirds. Keith Law on earlier in the day with BK and Ferrario, and you can check out both of those interviews right now available on 101ESPN.com. Also today, this morning, in fact, SEC Media Daze featuring Eli Drinkwitz of Mizzou, the Tigers head coach, confirming that Sam Horn, the quarterback, will be back with the program. He was drafted, of course, by the Dodgers in the 17th round of the MLB draft on Monday. The Sports Center update was brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Strap yourself in. You're in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane, joined by Bradford Bruns. I'm Carey Davis, and earlier today we had John Denton on talking about J.J. Weatherholt and what Mo may do at the trade deadline. And we asked for your mic drops, and we got them. So we got them. Well, Lisa got our first mic drop in talking about J.J. Weatherholt. Here she comes. Lisa is coming up right now with J.J. Weatherholt.
Having some audition issues. Gary, just a second.
Little audio issues here. So J.J. Weatherholt is obviously the draft pick from last year who's been moving through the ranks up in AAA and been playing outstanding. You got it, Bradford? No? Been playing outstanding, been doing a great job. And so, here we go. J.J. Weatherholt from Lisa.
Hey, guys. Great question about J.J. I mean, that's fine if they bring him up. I mean, it's fine. A little excitement. Hopefully he's, talented. But let's get real straight here. The St. Louis Cardinals front office is a mess, is a disaster. No communication with dugout leadership, that's obvious. You guys just had a segment with John Denton talking about pitchers, the shift. Well, hell, the shift, what was it, a secret for the Cardinals? That Yachty was retiring and the shift was going away? Who is doing their jobs and who is being held accountable? No matter what you guys want to say, well, they were over 500. 5 playoff wins in a decade? Blow it up and start at the top. So, JJ, good luck. I hope you bring a little smile, maybe get a little hit or two. But it isn't going to matter. You're just moving pieces around. All right, thanks, guys.
Well, Lisa's a little bit frustrated. I did say that as well. Like the fact that you had all this pitch to contact pitchers, all these pitch to contact pitchers, and it works well when you had the shift on. You could have 3 guys on one side of the infield, and you can throw it right there, and they're going to hit it to them. It's a little different when you can't shift all of those guys over, and you still have pitchers that are pitch to contact type pitchers, and so hopefully they got the new draft pick, Liam Doyle. Maybe he's one of those guys that is not. He's a swing and miss guy. They got that going on. But J.J. Weatherholt, I believe, we talked about him earlier. John Denton, a lot of people are very high on him. He's doing a great job. Did a great job in AA, now up in AAA. Fantastic. Did a great job in the Futures game. I think he's going to be a star. But where is he going to play? Because that's another question that we talked to John Denton about, all of the kind of clutter that you have with the position players now with J.J. potentially and Newt Barr and Donovan and Alec Burleson, Nolan Gorman, Jordan Walker. It's not enough. Ivan Herrera is not catching. He's a DH. Not enough spots for all of those players. So you got to find some way to alleviate some of that pressure.
Well, as per usual, Lisa, we appreciate being practical there. And a lot of the concerns articulated by Cardinal Nation, they are valid. Now, I prefer in the here and now, Carey, to really focus on and spotlight the potential that you could have, yes, in a J.J. Weatherholt, because just last season, this guy was obviously taken as somebody. He was viewed with esteem, and I think that we tend to lose sight of the fact that before his last season in college for West Virginia, this guy was regarded as a consensus top 3 style of pick. He very well could have been, if not for that hamstring injury, he could have been a top 3 pick. I'm not saying he fell to the Cardinals, but he has done nothing as he has skyrocketed through the ranks there in the minor leagues. But rake, and what you have seen, not only at AA this season, but the limited returns, obviously, for the AAA Redbirds, the question becomes, how soon can you get him here to this level? And to me, we talked about it at the beginning of the show as well, the bat is going to play regardless. That's what John Denton said, too. The bat is going to play. Basically, if you are hitting to that extent, the coaches, the staff, the team is going to find a position for you. It will take time, and he talked about earlier in the show as well, Weatherholt, that is, how he has displayed that versatility in the past. He has been able to play at X number of positions. But if you're giving me, Carey, a Weatherholt for the future, and you are using him as a foremost chip, you know that you can rely on an Ivan Herrera as well. There are questions about the defense. I know that. And it is a little troubling
with Ivan Herrera?
You have two guys.
Those are the real questions.
You have 2 guys who kind of fall under that same umbrella. But also at the same time, let's give a little runway when it comes to adjusting defensively, too. We've talked about the bats all season, last year carrying over. Well, what about also giving J.J. Weatherholt at the major league level, wherever he winds up playing, the requisite amount of time to develop accordingly? It was disastrous in the beginning for Jordan Walker, and I wonder why. Because immediately upon being drafted, it's not as if the Cardinals instantly shifted him from third base to the outfield, said, hey, you're going to be in right field, entrenched permanently going forward. It was a backward notion at the time. Now, you can't paint in the same broad strokes when it comes to J.J. Weatherholt, but let's give it a little bit of time. I am optimistic. I'm willing to see how it plays out for him at this level. And like so many others, I'm excited to see him sooner rather than later.
Indeed. Terry had a mic drop talking about Mo and his thoughts about the trade deadline.
Bloom and DeWitt that are calling the shots. Mo is not in charge. He has his title, he has his salary, and he is running the day-to-day operations of the team. He may be in the room for the trade negotiations, but keep this in mind. Any final decisions, the parameters of the deal will be made by DeWitt and Bloom. There is absolutely no way that Chaim Bloom is so desperate for a job that he is going to stick around and watch Mozeliak derail the plans that he's been working on for the better part of a year. That just simply doesn't make any sense. So while Mo may not be in charge or making the decisions, he may be running the trade negotiations, but it's Bloom and DeWitt that are calling the shots.
Now, I would agree with that. I would hope that, what Terry said is true. And I think that would make the most sense. You wouldn't give the power to drastically shift your roster to someone that is on the way out. You would hope that the person that is on his way in as the full-time POBO GM, that is going to be making those decisions down the line is the one that's making the decisions this year, and that Mo is in the room, for consultation, but not the one necessarily pulling the trigger on any deals, because if it's not something that everyone is in agreement with, if he's on his own in that ideology and that thought, it could be something that is not beneficial for the team in the future. So to Terry's point, I hope he's correct in terms of Chaim Bloom and the DeWitts are the ones that are actually actively making those decisions come trade deadline day. And Mo is sitting there, nodding his head yay or nay, but his opinion doesn't carry that much weight.
Yeah, that's the direction, that's the trajectory for which everybody sane-minded is thinking, right, and hoping. And we will see. We'll see exactly how it comes to fruition there. But right now, when you think about the makeup of this roster, Carey, and I know that in the first road trip here to begin the second half, you have Arizona, which has kind of been a bit of an also-ran, relatively speaking, in the NL West this season. You have Colorado then, too. I think once you get a week plus into the equation and you actually get back home, it may not be the most advantageous, it may not be the most favorable schedule, but you will find out relatively quickly, since these guys basically have had an opportunity to reset, to reboot. Nolan Arenado, is he's going to be somebody on whom you can count down the stretch? Nolan Nolan Gorman rather, is he going to be getting more and more reps, more and more ABs there? The questions in my mind are going to become crystallized much more quickly than a lot of us actually believe, because meanwhile, Milwaukee, Chicago, they're doing nothing but actually taking off. You don't have that much more time with which to play.
We'll see how it all plays out. We'll see what the trade deadline looks like for the Cardinals, if they're sellers, if they're buyers, or if they just stand pat. We'll see in a couple of weeks how it all goes. That's Bradford Bruns. I'm Carey Davis. Coming up, we have what we learned in 3 stars of the day.
101 ESPN is powered by Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's injury lawyers. Call 314-500-5000.
Everyone needs to have at least one person in their corner in life. When you don't, it's an extremely lonely and frightening place to be. But knowing you have that one person gives you peace and hope. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Since 1988, myself and my firm have been in so many corners for so many clients for so many years. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason, and it's not even close. We fought like hell for you. We fight the bullies, automobile insurance companies, the makers of unsafe products, medical providers who injured or killed their own patients. It has been such an honor and made my life complete. If you ever need us, it's easy. On your mobile device or computer, visit forthepeople.com, and then we get to work 24/7. Whether you're hurt in a car crash, injured on the job, or have questions about your Social Security, we're here for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Rangers and Tigers. Pregame at 5. First pitch at 6:10. The MLB Plays on 101 ESPN.
If you missed anything from today's show, you can download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or on the 101 ESPN mobile app, brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. All podcasts are brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. What you learned? What did you learn today, Bradford? You go first. What we learned?
All right, CD, I think you're going to appreciate this one. I learned, my friend, that even if you have been the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history, you can do it all over again. Congrats, TJ Watt.
Here we go. Yeah, it's only going to last for probably, 2 or 3 weeks because
okay.
Michael Parsons is on deck. So, those numbers get out of hand very quickly. But congratulations to TJ being the number one defensive player paid all time. Again.
Makes you feel safe and secure, though, doesn't it?
When you got that guy rushing off of the edge, you do feel very damn good. I learned today that the Cardinals could be a linchpin at the trade deadline. A lot of executives may be seeking some Cardinal players, and it is going to be extremely interesting and fascinating to see what takes place for our St. Louis Cardinals come trade deadline here at the end of the month.
Yes, indeed. It's not that far away. I'm, for one, Carey, maybe just for the purposes of bet the board, okay, elated that we have the action returning tomorrow night, even though we're going to be paying close attention to that tennis circuit again.
I don't even know who I picked.
No, we're not.
Who did I? Yeah, I have no clue. A-Dub, Adam Walton, I know. Yeah, that's who I got.
That's easy to remember.
It's James Duckworth. James got me a win a couple of nights ago. All right, Bradford, 3 stars of the day. Oh, you know what? Compliments and any criticism. Do we have any compliments and criticism?
Well, actually, I will take this. I interpreted it at first, actually, in the 2 o'clock hour as more of a criticism, I suppose. So we were talking about, at that point in time, Anthony and Jamie referenced a push and pull, maybe a pull. Grant Francis fan club actually took it in the direction of, with Marshy being out, I'm disappointed, because that would mean Bradford has the poll to be.
Bradford usually.
Needless to say, I did not go in that
here's
direction.
The thing. Marshy usually puts his poll out there for people to vote upon and jump on and make decisions about what's going on. And so since Marshy isn't here, they were saying maybe you should put your poll out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that comfortable yet. I'm with you guys for a few days. We've obviously worked together a lot, but I need to ease into that. I'm not there yet.
Keep coming back. You'll be comfortable putting your poll out there.
Okay.
Don't worry about it, Bradford.
Sure. That's what they say. Lisa, appreciate it as well. Not only for the mic drop, but weighing in, saying to have a great show, have a great evening as well, and then Snake Pit all the way around. Appreciate that. I do wonder, Carey, so the other night when Corbin Carroll obviously hit that big ding-dong Johnson at the All-Star game, was there a collective...
Yeah, we don't for Diamondbacks.
Oh, but literal Diamondbacks.
Literal Diamondbacks,
not figurative.
Nah. 3 stars of the day.
Let's do it.
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 stars of the day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
All right, star number 3 on the day, the man who put in the work here with us for the first 3 hours and change, and now he is serving the good people. Yes, with that concessions duty. Tony Hockey. Guess what, Carey?
Tony Hockey.
This was victory number 11 on the year. He's 11-1 in that category.
He's doing an outstanding job, and he's going to do an outstanding job at that concession stand tonight, too. I know he is serving those young people snacks and drinks all night.
The number 1 Sharks fan, he says he doesn't have it. He doesn't believe it, but I don't buy it.
Yes,
no, I do not. No, I do not. Star number 2, let's move it along. Whether he generated some excitement or maybe a little bit of controversy as far as, the Cardinals way, what's going to happen position-wise. The biggest single player for us today on the Fast Lane, that would be J.J. Weatherholt, and I, for one, hope to see him rather soon at the Major League level. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's get it done.
All right, and for star number 1, Carey, we're going to take it back to the rink. We're going to take it back to the Gauntlet, where despite Jeff's best efforts, he did fall short to
job.
Tony Hockey, Tony Sticks, but... the coach we never knew we needed. But now he's ingrained in our brains forever. Dominique
Ducharme.
Yes, star number one. Congrats to Dominique Ducharme. That's Bradford Bruns. Anthony will be back tomorrow. Jamie, we will see him on Monday. I am Carey Davis. Until tomorrow, we will see you.